and it helps. When week one, granted, they got blasted by Aquinas, but they saw a lot of that misdirection against Aquinas, so you know they got drilled, stay home all week. And again, they already had preparation against one of the best teams that changed the direction in Aquinas in week one. 3rd and 11 for Rockhurst. Smirt will be from the shotgun. Low snap, is going to roll left on the snap. Step up in the pocket, fire one deep down the middle. That is hauled in by Bashoner across midfield into Tiger territory at the 42. And he used his long 6'4" frame to high point that ball.
Yeah, and Caden McCumber was right there for Blue Valley, and there was another defender that was in double coverage. But like you said, just use that long arms, long frame to be able to go up and get it. And that's a big first down for Rockers because they were going a little bit backwards, now into Blue Valley territory for the first time this evening.
That time they gave Smirt time, and he made Blue Valley pay. But Bashoner, he is a matchup nightmare at 6'4", 205 on the edge. Smirt wants to pass. Now it's going to be a draw, and getting blown up in the backfield is the tailback Williams.
Yeah, Sterling Smithson was able to get off the double team there and was just right there ready for the draw. And a big play there for Blue Valley after that huge gain from Rockhurst.
Smithson 6'3", 305. Clayton Powers 6'2", 305. Mason Richmond 6'6", 255. And headed to Iowa next year across that defensive line. We mentioned that's their strength. They've got the size to match.
Yeah, they do have the size, and it looks like, just kind of from sight right now, have the size advantage over the Rockhurst offensive line.
2nd and 14, a loss of 4 on the draw. They're going to go to the air, and that's a tunnel screen to Bashoner, dodging past one man, climbing his way out near the original line of scrimmage. Call that 4 yards on the tunnel screen, and here comes 3rd and 10, but it's been very obvious here on the first drive that Nick Smirt is going to get it into Bashoner's hands as often as he can.
Yeah, Bashoner's a good athlete, very good playmaker for this Hawklets football team. So, like you said, Smirt just trying to get going with his best receiver.
Already 3 catches on the drive for Luke Bashoner. Nick Smirt, 1 incompletion on the drive. He didn't go Bashoner's way on the incompletion, but every other pass has been hauled in by number 11. 3rd and 10 from the Blue Valley 42, opening drive. Smirt from the shotgun, pressure in his face. Past 1, he's going to roll right. He's going to throw a deep ball into double coverage on the sideline. It's nearly intercepted, but coming out of bounds, coming down to earth, was the safety for Blue Valley, Bo Palmer, and it's going to be 4th and 10.
Yeah, and Mason Richmond kind of was the one that started that. He just blew up that right tackle, got in Smirt's face, and he was right there for Smirt to get out of the pocket. He just had to kind of throw it up because Richmond was coming.
That was just a bull rush by Mason Richmond. And again, we've talked about this kid, if you're not familiar, headed to Iowa next year, 6'6", 255 on the defensive line. Could end up playing offense or defense for the Hawkeyes next season. Punt unit out there for Rockhurst. Owen Lawson is going to boot this one away. Maybe got a little bit too much of it end over end, but it is going to be fair caught inside the 5. That looked like that one was headed for the end zone almost certainly, but hauling in the fair catch inside the 5 was John Jeffries. A little bit surprised that he took that one, but Blue Valley, now they're going to have to start real backed up, like I mentioned, inside their own 5-yard line.
Yeah, and we saw that in week 1. They started a lot of drives inside their own 10, 5-yard line. Things just wasn't able to develop for Blue Valley. So we'll see how Jake Wolf and this offense does for Blue Valley.
8:09 to go first quarter. Rockhurst ultimately has to punt on their opening drive after getting into Blue Valley territory. Now here come the Tigers. 2-1, the 11th ranked team in the A10varsity.com poll. They're going to start on the ground through the middle, nowhere to go on the first carry of the game for Chase Jansen. It's a 2-headed monster in the backfield for Blue Valley and Chase Jansen, Grayson Holbert. They do a really good job of splitting carries between the two, but each of them brings a little bit different aspect to this running game.
I say one's more of a power back, one's kind of more of the speed get on the outside, and we didn't really see the outside run in week 1, but they've really been able to develop that so far in the last 2 weeks that I think has helped Blue Valley get to 2-1.
Jans remains the tailback on what they're going to call a 2nd and 9. They gave him a yard on the first down carry. Rockhurst defensively, this is their strength. We talked about it in the pregame. Taylor mentioned it. They're very good across the defensive front. They're great at the linebacker position, maybe the best linebacking core in the city. Tucker Atwood, Tommy Eccles, Wilson Selzer, and now there is going to be a flag against Rockhurst.
So I think the right defensive end jumped into the neutral zone. I think that's what they got.
So from 2nd and 9, they go 2nd and 4. after Rockhurst gets an early start. And now 2nd and 4, they go to the pistol. Jake Wolf checks the sideline. Junior quarterback getting a lot of Division I looks. We'll talk about this guy's story throughout the broadcast. Pistol snap, looking far side, completing an out route, breaking one tackle, losing the helmet, and that one gets whistled dead immediately after the 3-yard completion. But again, if not for losing his helmet on the far side, John Jeffries might have the first down. But again, as soon as you lose that helmet, play is dead. They are going to give him the first down, though. They call it a gain of 6, and they move the chains.
Saying Jeffries has come off the field in high school, obviously, with the with that rule. If it comes off, you are off for a play, get the helmet looked at. But like you said, Jake Wolf, a guy that struggled in week 1. He's really kind of taken off the last couple of weeks. So see how he does against this really good defense of Rockhurst.
Just south of 500 yards passing on the year. He's going to roll right on the snap, getting chased from behind, running out of time. He's going to get dumped back at the 7-yard line. That time the Hawklets pin their ears back. They chase down Jake Wolf, and he's going to take a loss of 7 on the play.
Yeah, and Wolf just rolled out to his right, and I don't really think he saw the blitzer coming from the left side. Probably should have thrown that one away, but like you said, loss of 7. But Jake Wolf just needs to probably be able to get rid of that. There really wasn't much options down the field.
Tommy Eccles, 6'3", 225, chasing him down from his linebacker position on that play. 2nd and 16, they'll call it. They go pistol snap. They run straight up the middle. Jan's not a lot of running room. Maybe picks up 2 yards, and it's going to be 3rd and long for the Tigers.
I'd say so far 2 runs up the middle, gains of about 2 rushes for 2 yards. So the middle's probably not going to be there like it has been the last couple of weeks.
6:22 to go opening quarter. No score from Blue Valley High School. Rockers punted on their opening drive, and Blue Valley now faces a 3rd and long from their own 11-yard line midway through quarter number 1. Wolf, high snap, running at a time, stepping up in the pocket, throwing one over the middle, diving grab, dropped by Dorian Stevens. He would have been short of the first down anyway, but a drop for Stevens. That was a low pass, and now the punt unit's going to get called on for Blue Valley. There is a flag down in the area of holding, but again, this would bring up 4th down anyway, so Rockhurst likely going to decline the penalty. They will, and now the Blue Valley punt team out on 4th down.
And we'll see after week 1 if the punting woes have gotten a little bit better from Blue Valley. That's kind of where Aquinas really did their damage, was they started in Blue Valley territory.
Henry Krebs, Connor Ryan back deep, standing in his own end zone is Colin Wood. Low snap, skips into him. The rush wasn't on, thankfully, and he lets go of a beautiful spiraling punt. Hits across midfield. It's going to take a Blue Valley hop across the Rockhurst 40 and going to get down at the 38 of the Hawklets. And boy, that was near disaster because, again, that was a low snap. He bobbled it, dropped it, but again, the rush wasn't on, so he had time to gather himself and let go of a beautiful punt. And Blue Valley needed that because, again, you go back to that Aquinas game for Blue Valley, and they started in a hole. The punting game was bad. They gave Aquinas a lot of short fields in that game, and even though your offense doesn't get anything going there, a good punt gets you out of the shadow of your own end zone. You feel good about something like that pins Rockhurst back beyond their own 40.
Yeah, because you feel confident in your defense, getting a good punt away, forcing Rockhurst to really kind of drive most of the field to get a touchdown now or get into field goal range. You feel really good about that because, like you said, it could have been a complete disaster in there as the ball got fumbled, low snap in the end zone.
Smirt's going to turn hand off straight up the middle to his fullback, draggling tacklers for a gain of 8 yards across the 45 near the 46-yard line. First carry of the game for Chuck Ingram, 6'1", 220 at the fullback position. Again, Rockhurst moved it real well on their opening drive. Again, got into Blue Valley territory, ultimately had to punt. And now after one play, they're zeroing in on midfield from the 46-yard line, 5:24 to go first quarter. Ingram left side lowers the shoulder as he has the first down near midfield. Give him 4 more.
So, and Blue Valley won the first possession up front. Right now through 2 plays, Rockhurst is winning the up front battle right now.
They've got good size across the front. Brett Harris, 6'6", 285 at left tackle. This is a guy that's on a lot of Division I radars. Nick Carollo, 5'10", 245 at left guard. Ray Ritchie, 5'8", 248 at center. Right guard, 6'1", 235, Michael Kuklenski. They're going to keep it on the ground on this 1st and 10. Smirt, a read option. He's going to spin past one tackler, cut it up near the hash mark, slide down for a gain of 4, and now a flag flies. Diving into the pile late was the safety Caden McCumber, and I don't even know that he made contact with Nick Smirt, but I think they may throw the penalty just for him diving on Smirt because he gave himself up. He slid.
Say when Smirt slid, it looked like McCumber was just trying to kind of jump over him maybe and made minimal contact, but they're going to pretty much call that every time nowadays.
Because, again, when you slide like that, you're giving yourself up as the quarterback. And McCumber lowers the shoulder, tried to bring Smirt down to the ground. And, again, that's a 15-yard penalty now. And that puts Rockhurst up at the Blue Valley 31-yard line, 4:53 to go opening quarter. Smirt under center, drops the football, picks it back up. They go straight up the middle for no gain. But how about Smirt dropping the snap and then, boy, fluidly picking that right back up and giving it off to his tailback, even though it goes for nothing. Still a good play by Smirt, good ball handling.
Yeah, I say that Smirt, that could have been a disaster, could have been a turnover or something like that. Smirt having the ability to be able to pick that up pretty, like you said, pretty fluidly and get that to his running back was pretty impressive.
It goes for no gain, but again, could have been a fumble on the play. Had it not been for Smirt picking it up. He's going to go play fake, roll left, in trouble. Going back to his right side. Smirt trying to shake and bake past one. He's going to get pushed out of bounds on the far boundary. He thought about getting rid of that football, kept holding it, and finally Tyler Kelso threw him out of bounds. That's a loss of 8 on the play. And you saw Smirt, he was in his own sideline, and the coach was saying, throw that football away.
Yeah, I would say we've seen it now with both quarterbacks, Wolf and now Smirt, just rolling to his sideline. Probably should have just got rid of it. Now he got a loss of 7. But that 3-man rush of Blue Valley, they just had 3 defenders come. I mean, they blew up that offensive line from Rockhurst. And so far, if Smirt doesn't get rid of the ball quick, normally he has pressure in his face.
3rd and 17. They got to get to the Blue Valley 21 for a first down. Smirt, short drop with time. Rainbow left side. That is high and incomplete. They were looking for Bashoner, and it's going to be 4th down. .407 to go opening quarter. Rockhurst punt unit back out there. By the way, it bears talking about that Owen Lawson, arguably the best kicker in Kansas City, he has range, I've been told, from more than 55 away. But this one maybe a little bit too far for the range as the punt unit out there. And Lawson angles this punt towards the far sideline, hits inside the 5, checks up, and is going to be down at the 3. Boy, not only is he one of the best kickers in the area, one of the best punters as well, as he pins Blue Valley inside their own 3-yard line.
Yeah, that was a beautiful punt. He just kind of pooched it a little bit and coffin cornered it, and that was probably one of the better punts that I've seen at the high school level. Again,
this kid is going to end up kicking or punting at the next level, just a matter of where. But, again, he has range for more than 55. He connected on a 51-yarder earlier this season. And he is quite the punter, too. Maybe a better punter than he is kicker. And that's saying a lot. The kid's got a strong leg. Blue Valley, it's their second drive of the opening quarter. 4 minutes to go in the opening quarter, and they start it inside their own 3. Their first drive started from the 5-yard line. Wolf is going to hand off straight up the middle. That's Holbert. Far sideline, 15-20, and he's upended near the 25-yard line. And how about that to get you out of the shadow of your own goalpost?
Yeah, and it was just a pistol formation, just hand off to the left, up the middle. That Blue Valley offensive line really created a hole for the running back there, and that was a big play from Holbert to get out the shadow of your own end zone where Blue Valley was pretty much the entire first possession. So get a little bit of breathing room. Might see Jake Wolf open it up just a bit.
Wolf, a junior, 6'2", 205 behind center. He's going to give to Holbert again, far sideline. He picks up about 5 yards as he's hog-tied down near the 31-yard line. So Grayson Holbert change of pace back from Chase Jans. But already, he's got himself 30 yards on the ground on this drive.
Yeah, no, that one too. It was supposed to go up the middle, nothing there, just bounced it to the left and was able to pick up 6. That was a good play there by Holbert.
Sitting on their own 32-yard line. 3:35 to go first quarter. No score from Blue Valley High School. between the Tigers of Blue Valley and the Hawklets of Rockhurst High School. Brings up a 2nd and 4 for Blue Valley. Bobbling the snap, picked up by Holbert as he's going to get stormed down at the 26-yard line. Boy, that went right through the hands of Wolf. And again, they line up in the pistol, so the running back is behind the quarterback. Holbert just ran right up, picked that one out of the air, and of course he got stormed under, but a very aware play by the tailback.
I said that was a huge play by Holbert because that ball, because it was fumbled and it looked like Wolf, the way he was going to bounce, could possibly kind of bounce around on the turf for a while. So Holbert being there, that was a smart play, like you said, got about a -4 yards there, but a big play just to make this 3rd and 8.
3rd and 8, Rockhurst shows pressure. They've got 6 crowding the line. 4 receivers, 2 right, 2 left. Holbert remains in the backfield to the left of Wolf. Rockhurst does bring pressure. Deep ball down the sideline for Stevens. He overshot it, and it's going to be 4th down. Stevens had a step, and if Wolf puts that on him, he's gone.
So Dorian Stevens was able to get away from his corner, the corner for Rockhurst. We were all up on the line, press coverage, was able to get around him. Like I said, if Wolf just hits it a little bit, the wind is a little bit to his back going this way on the field, so maybe the wind possibly had a little bit to do with it, but just overshot Stevens.
2:47 to go, first quarter. We've seen 3 punts already. This one will be the 4th punt of this opening quarter. Rockhurst ready to get it back. This time the snap is fine to Colin Wood, and he lets go of another solid punt. It's going to be fielded on the run by Ryan. Coming near side and going to get chased down near the hash mark at the 40-yard line. And a good tackle in the open field made by the tailback, Chase Jansen. Here comes Rockhurst again. Really good starting field position from their own 41.
Yeah, I would say they started at their own 39-yard line, so it was pretty close to the last possession. But Rockhurst so far has been able to get into Blue Valley territory both possessions. They just kind of stalled out once they get inside the 40-yard line or so. So we'll see if Rockhurst can't put together a full drive here and see if this defensive line for Blue Valley can continue to get in Smirt's face.
1st and 10 for the Hawklets. Again, from their own 41-yard line, Smirt wants to go to the air on 1st down. He's going to throw a hitch route over the middle and complete 5-yard pickup as he finds his tight end, Bo Sprague. This guy is another guy that could find himself playing on Saturdays in the near future. He's a junior at tight end, plays a little basketball as well, 6'5", 240. And if that's not the ideal Division I tight end build, I don't know what is.
I mean, just looking at him, pretty big kid, and good hands. That ball was thrown a little to his left. He was just able to pick it out of the air. That was a good catch.
Under center goes Smirt on a 2nd and 6 play. He's going to give right side nowhere to go for Chuck Ingram as he gets driven backwards by a slew of Blue Valley defenders. They're going to call it no gain. Forward progress at the 45-yard line. Got to get to the Blue Valley 49 for a 1st down. It's warm. Friday afternoon, a 4 o'clock kickoff. Again, with inclement weather bearing down on the Kansas City area, all the kickoffs in the metro area either got moved up a few hours today or got moved up a day last night. There were some big games last night. And by the way, a big EKL score that shocked a lot of people. Miege fell to St. James 28-27. They've got these Hawklets next week. And now a whistle and a timeout taken by Rockhurst. 1:21 to go in this first quarter. But yeah, like I said, that weather forced up a lot of these kickoffs. And again, a lot of schools decided on Wednesday to move their kickoff up a whole day. And mentally, that's got to do something to you because, I mean, especially for a Thursday game, like you look at that St. James and Miege game and you're notified of that Wednesday. That game's getting moved up a whole day, so that goes and cuts an entire day of preparation out of your week. And then you've suddenly got to get ready to go in a moment's notice for that Thursday night game. And St. James, give them all the credit in the world. They came and they smacked Miege in the mouth, won that game 28-27. And now Miege is going to be staring down the barrel of a shotgun here with Rockhurst in a week.
Yeah, I would say, like you said, anytime, because you're in a routine. You know, you have your Monday practice, you have your Tuesday, and so on and so forth. So your Thursday is normally kind of your mock game, kind of, you know, simulate kind of what's going to happen. And then when that gets moved up, kind of throws you off. But like you say, give credit to the Thunder. They went into Miege and was able to knock them off. And Miege doesn't get any easier. They got Rockhurst next week, and then 2 weeks from then, they got Aquinas.
Exactly. Smirt out of the timeout on a 3rd and 6. Stepping up in the pocket. Chase from behind, and he gets dropped. Sterling Smithson, did he end for Blue Valley, got home, and he dragged Smirt to the ground. A loss of 5, and it's 4th and 11.
seen it every time Smirt's really dropped back and hasn't had those quick passes. There's been somebody in his face, and he's had to try to scramble out. Just couldn't scramble out of that. Like I said, Smithson just grabbed him in the back of the jersey and was able to take him down. It's a big sack for Blue Valley.
2 sacks in this first quarter for this Blue Valley defense. 11 sacks now on the season for this defense. Punt unit back out there, and Lawson gets rid of a high, short punt. This is going to hit across the 35, take a Rockhurst hop, and get down inside the 20 near the 17-yard line. 35 seconds to go in the opening quarter. We have seen 5 possessions, 5 punts in this first quarter. Ball goes back over to the Tigers in a 0-0 game on ESPN Kansas City. Again, I'm Tim Spurl. He's Taylor Dameron as we approach the end of this first quarter. And again, it was, well, you talk about the heat and 4 o'clock. A lot of people, a lot of parents, obviously not even off work, students just getting off school. That Rockhurst side was bare bones at kickoff. It's filled out pretty well, and this Blue Valley home side has definitely filled out.
Yeah, for a 4 p.m. kickoff, very impressive crowd. Like you said, the Rockhurst crowd was pretty bare at about 4 o'clock, but now that some time has gone by, 25 minutes, some more people have been able to come in, students have come in. But yeah, for a 4 p.m. kickoff and in this heat, in the sun, it's a very, very impressive.
Caught off a tip across the 40. Foot race and getting dragged down near the 50-yard line on the first down. Catch and run goes Sterling Lockett. After taking over, Jake Wolf on first down fired a slant route that got tipped up into the air, but there were 2 slants on, and Sterling Lockett was the backside one. He picked it out of the air off the tip, and Blue Valley is to the Rockhurst 46-yard line. This should be the final play of the quarter. They send a man in motion. Wolf with time, running out of time, rolling right, throws one off his back foot. It's going to sail out of bounds and stop the clock with 12 seconds to go in the first quarter, and this will likely be the final play of quarter number 1.
And Wolf on that play, they just try to, whenever Blue Valley gets a big play on offense, a lot of times they kind of speed to the line, try to do the hurry-up offense. There just looked like there was some miscommunication on the offensive line. There was pressure there in Wolf's face, just couldn't find anything. He made the smart play, just trying to get it out to Lockett, threw it over his head, so no intentional grounding.
2nd and 10, 3 to the right, 1 to the left. Just 12 seconds remain in this opening quarter. Jans the deep back, Wolf. Short drop. He's going to rainbow one left side for Stevens. He couldn't hang on. And it's 3rd and 10. 8 seconds to go in this first quarter. I'm just going to stop assuming that it's the last play of the quarter. 3rd and 10, but that one, that's a tough matchup for Dorian Stevens. He was locked up in single coverage there on an island. It was good coverage, but that one hit him in the hands.
As I hit him right in the hands, and I think maybe he was expecting kind of the back shoulder throw a little bit. It was thrown to the front shoulder, but like I said, hit him in both hands. For Dorian Stevens, really got to bring that in, and you got a pretty good gain if you bring it in. 3rd
and 10. Wolf is going to roll right on the snap. He's going to throw a corner route for the sideline. It's picked off across the 25 and ridden down near the 29 is the safety Stephen Burge, and that is how quarter number 1 ends. A Rockhurst turnover, and we head for break on ESPN Kansas City. So Blue Valley High School, and Jake Wolf gets picked off there at the end of quarter number 1. He was throwing an out route that Burge, the safety for Rockhurst, camped out under and was able to catch that one basically like a punt. It was an underthrown pass, and now Rockhurst takes over at their own 29-yard line after the interception to start quarter number 2. Smirt from the shotgun is going to roll right, step up in the pocket, throw a comeback route, and complete it to Bishona right at the first down marker. Going to be a gain of about 9.5. Call it 2.5 yards.
Yeah, and Smirt kind of see what he can do when he gets time. He was able to set his feet, able to make a nice throw. It was a good catch there on the play for a gain of 9 to get this drive started for Rockhurst.
From the 38 of the Hawklets, Rockhurst goes second in a yard. Again, we're just underway in quarter number 2 between Blue Valley and Rockhurst High School. No score in this first half. Smirt climbs in under center. He's going to turn and give to Williams, who gets blown up 2 yards deep in the backfield. It's the future Hawkeye, Mason Richmond. Nobody picked him up across the offensive line. He blows that one up for a loss of 3.
Mason Richmond, you're kind of seeing why, when he's going to play on Saturdays, why he could possibly switch over to offense. He's got the speed, and he was just able to get off the football, and he was there in the backfield really about the time the handoff occurred.
Second and 1 becomes 3rd and 4 all of a sudden. And again, this Rockhurst offense, they've had to punt the ball each time they've touched it, in jeopardy of having to do it again from their own 35-yard line. Shotgun formation. Smirt is going to zip a pass, far side, complete the hitch route, extending for the first down, and picking it up is Bishoner. Good awareness by the senior receiver. He was stopped right at the sticks, turned, saw where he was, extended that football forward, moves the chains.
I said that was a big play because it looked like, if he stopped where he initially catches and gets hit, might have to measure it, might be a couple inches short, but he had the awareness to just reach out and reach over the 40-yard line to be able to pick up that first down. And now the Hawklets get another set of downs to try to move the football back into Blue Valley territory and get in the end zone.
We've called Bishoner's name a ton in this first half. They're going to turn and give it on a stretch play. Far sideline, getting right out of bounds near the 44-yard line was Joe Leggio, the sophomore tailback for Rockhurst. Called that 3 yards on first down. Call it from the 44-yard line. Bring up a 2nd and 7 for the Hawklets. 3-1. Their only loss this year coming in the final seconds to Blue Springs. They fell 17-16 in that game in week 2. They went for 2 and for the win late in that game as Leggio carries behind left guard for 3 more yards. And it's going to set up a 3rd and medium for Rockhurst. 3rd and about 4 yards here for the Hawklets. But again, that's their only loss so far on the season. And it doesn't get much easier for Rockhurst. Again, Blue Valley today on the road. Next week, they're back at home, but taking on Bishop Miege. In another couple of weeks after that, they take on the second-ranked team in Class 6, the team that knocked them off in the state title game a year ago, CBC.
Yeah, like you said, Rockhurst, that schedule doesn't get any easier, and they're in that really tough district in Class 6, District 4. Right now, coming into tonight, they were 5th. Coming into the week, they were 4th.
Smirt is going to roll right on the snap, getting pressured from behind. He's going to get chased down at the 47 and snowed under. Back to the line of scrimmage, and it's going to bring up a 4th and 4 for the Hawklets. Again, the speed of this Blue Valley defensive front chasing down Smirt and setting up a 4th down.
So you can tell Smirt realized there wasn't anything downfield, tried to roll out, looked like he slipped a little bit trying to cut back, but Bo Palmer was there to really kind of initiate that, and a good gang tackle there by Blue Valley.
Haven't talked about it much, but these two teams met a year ago at Rockhurst, and the Hawklets stormed the Tigers in that game 42-7. It was a 21-0 game, or a 21-7 game at halftime, rather, Rockhurst led. This is a high spiraling punt, fair catch called for and made at the 6-yard line by John Jeffries, and the Tigers will again start back inside their own 10-yard line. But yeah, that game a year ago, Rockhurst dominated that game really from the word go. They outscored the Tigers 21-0 in that second half. Blue Valley limited to only 257 yards of total offense in that game. Dorian Stevens only 3 catches to speak of, and today he's off to an equally rocky start through a quarter.
Yeah, so far this season just hasn't really been able to get going. We kind of talked about him in week 1. Hasn't really been able to get going, less than 100 yards so far in the year. I think that's a big key for Blue Valley moving forward as the schedule continues, is really trying to get Dorian Stevens involved to get his confidence up.
1st and 10. They go off the 6-yard line. They throw a deep ball down the sideline. Stevens across the 40. Midfield. Goodbye. Dorian Stevens is going to go 94 yards. Catch and run for 6. Tigers strike first here early on in this second quarter. Jake Wolf, 94 yards to big play Stevens.
And Stevens, there's the big play. He kind of so far had been bottled up so far this season. Stevens just out jumps the cornerback there, able to catch it. You kind of saw the speed too. He's able to outrun the rest of Rockhurst defense. Big play for Dorian Stevens, and you kind of see why he's one of the better receivers in the area. It's just that athleticism and speed that Dorian Stevens has.
We were waiting for him to step up, and he did in a big way. Colin Wood on for the extra point. Blue Valley strikes first. Snap, hold. Colin Wood swings that right leg, and it's 7-0. Blue Valley, they lead by a score over Rockhurst on your ESPN Kansas City High School football game of the week. Colin Wood has it teed up at the 40, 7-0 Blue Valley on a 94-yard touchdown strike from Jake Wolf. Line drive kick is going to hit across the 20, picked up off a hop near the 10-yard line, getting out across the 30 and taking a shot was the return man for Rockhurst. Trying to put a name to that number. But regardless, taken out just shy of the 34-yard line. And here come the Hawklets. It was Max Williams, by the way, on the return, the up man for the Hawklets. And they'll start from their own 32-yard line. And again, we were just talking about Dorian Stevens going into that last play, waiting for him to make a play. And right there, we saw why he's a difference maker.
Yeah, I say he just out-jumped the cornerback. He was able to just kind of pluck it. It was a kind of a underthrow just a little bit, just by a hair. And Stevens was able to pluck it over the corner, was able to make that long run. You kind of saw the speed and athleticism all bundled in one from Dorian Stevens.
First down carry goes nowhere, and now slow to get up is the fullback Chuck Ingram. Finally does get up. They're going to call it a loss of 1, and Ingram is clearly hobbled, and now he's going to head off for the sideline. 8:02 and rolling to go in this second quarter. Blue Valley a 7-0 lead over Rockhurst. Rockhurst back on the football. They have punted every time they've touched it this afternoon. They lose 1 on first down, 2nd and 11 from their own 31-yard line in this second quarter. Smirt, low snap from the shotgun, play fake, in trouble, getting chased, trying to cut it back across the middle. He's going to pick up 5 yards, and that was a mad dash for Nick Smirt. He was in trouble off the snap, but making some people miss, making this a manageable third down.
Yeah, I would say, because it looked like he was going to be lose a couple of yards, able to get about 4 or 5 yards in that play. That was a big play from Nick Smirt, and this is an even bigger play. They really need to kind of respond. They haven't really been able to do much on offense. Rockhurst needs to respond to that touchdown that Blue Valley had, or all the momentum is going to stay with the Tigers.
Fans continuing to file in here at Blue Valley. Smirt from the shotgun, low snap. Pump fakes. He's going to roll right. Getting chased again. Throws over the middle. Low catch made by Max Williams, and he's going to get stormed down near the 40-yard line. 2 yards short of the first down to go marker.
Smirt didn't have much of a pocket. Nice play to be able to get it to Williams, but good gang tackle there by Blue Valley. And it's going to force Rockhurst to punt yet again.
This offense, and we talked about it in the pregame, hasn't been fantastic through the first 4 games. Granted, they played a very difficult schedule, and Blue Valley another very difficult test, but the offense hasn't done much in this first half. Lawson gets rid of a high spiraling boot. Jeffries is going to watch a hit at the 20, take it off a hop near the 15, make one man miss, and he's going to step out right there at the 15-yard line. So here comes Blue Valley Last drive, one play, 94 yards and a touchdown. And this time they'll start from their own 15. And they really needed that play last drive, but every time they've gotten it, it seems like they have been really pinned back deep, and this time no different.
Yeah, I'm going to say, again, starting inside their own 20-yard line. It could have started a lot worse as the returner caught it inside the 10-yard line, was able to get a couple of yards. But, yeah, Blue Valley, big play to start that. Really hadn't been able to get much going. And a big response by Jake Wolf as well. He threw a pick on the last drive, and then the next throw he throws a 94-yard touchdown.
Yeah.
I mean, big response from Jake Wolf. Dorian Stevens gets going a little bit. So if you're Blue Valley, try to keep this momentum going, because if you can get up a couple of scores, we've kind of seen Rockhurst's offense so far this season. You know, maybe that's the difference in the football game.
6:16 to go till halftime. It'll be Blue Valley football at their own 16-yard line again. This game got going at 4 in the afternoon due to the inclement weather that's headed toward the Kansas City area. Games across the metro area got going at 4 o'clock this afternoon. This one obviously not the only one that got going early. And again, people still filing in, cars still pulling into the parking lot here at Blue Valley. It's a fantastic crowd on homecoming weekend from Blue Valley High School. And the Rockhurst crowd across the way continues to fill up that visitor's side. Wolf will start from the pistol, 3 receivers to the right, 1 receiver to the left. High snap. He's going to look left. He's going to throw another deep ball. This one is overshot, however, as Wolf has got to get pulled up off the turf. He took a shot there as he hung into the pocket, 2nd and 10. He was looking for Tate Gillen, the junior receiver down the sideline. That touchdown catch for Dorian Stevens, his 2nd of the season. Also caught one in week 2 against Blue Valley North. Wolf checks the sideline. Halfway gone in this second quarter. Blue Valley a 7-0 leader over Rockhurst in quarter number 2. Wolf, pistol snap. He's going to give Grayson Holbert, dragging a tackler across the 22 near the 23-yard line. Call that 6 yards on 2nd down, and here comes a 3rd down for Blue Valley.
Yeah, and Holbert, the last couple of times he's gotten the football, has made 5, 6, 7 yards every time he's touched it. So maybe Holbert, this offensive line really starting to open up some holes for Holbert, to maybe get him going a little bit. It would also open up Jake Wolf a little bit more.
Stevens on an island to the left side. 3 receivers bunched to the right. Wolf is going to look right, firing out, route complete. That's going to be a 1st down. Jeffries lowers the shoulder. He's across the 30-yard line. Did the ball come out? Ball came out on the hit on the far side. I think there's a discussion on whether he was down or if that's a live football. They're pulling bodies off, which would indicate that's a fumble. Rockhurst says they have it, waiting for the signal. And Rockhurst does come away with it. Forced the fumble on the Jeffries completion. And the Hawklets have their 2nd turnover of this first half.
Yeah, it looked like Jeffries just kind of lowered his shoulder to get there, and it looked like maybe a helmet came in and hit the arm, hit the football. And that's a big turnover for Rockhurst. Now you get the ball to start inside of Blue Valley's territory. It looks like it's going to be at the 33-yard line. This is a big response. With 5:20 left to go before halftime, get some scores, get some momentum going into halftime. Haven't been really been able to do much on the offensive side of the football.
They will take over from the Blue Valley 33-yard line. 1st and 10, 3 receivers to the right. They're going to run a toss play. Right side, trying to get to the edges. Leggio lowering the shoulder, carrying a man to the 25. 8 hard yards for the backup tailback, Leggio. In this defense, there is a flag down. This one may be coming back, a late flag. And a hold against the Hawklets. And I don't know if you can hear it in the referee's mic, but the wind is starting to pick up, and that's that storm cell that's moving closer to the Kansas City area. Again, it's supposed to get real gnarly here at about 7:30, 8 o'clock tonight. And it's starting to move this way, and the wind's starting to pick up here at Blue Valley High School. But a hold's going to negate that 8-yard carry. By the way, this Rockhurst defense been really good. We've talked about how good they've been not only last season, but through 4 games this season. But they haven't forced a lot of turnovers. They've only forced 3 turnovers coming into today, but here in this first half, already 2 takeaways.
Yeah, that's probably something that Rockhurst talked about throughout the week, saying we need to generate. We're a really good defense. We will be a great defense if we can force turnovers, and that would also help the offense too. Like in here, outside of that hold,
They're going to run the reverse. Bashoner wants to go to the air for the quarterback. Getting dragged down is Smurt. That's going to pick up 10 yards. There was a lot of contact there as Smurt fended off of the free safety for Blue Valley, Bo Palmer, to reel it in. No flag, but that Rockhurst sideline was animated, begging for a flag.
Yeah, I would say, like you said, a lot of contact there, but you just see how good of an athlete Smurt is.
Yeah.
I mean, that was a good that was a good catch. There's some receivers, at the high school level that would not have made that catch, but Smurt able to make that catch, and that's a big first down play because now it's 2nd and 9, makes it more second and manageable for Rockhurst instead of 2nd and 19, 2nd and 17, something like that.
I will say that reverse throwback, that's designed to go to the house. That was great defense by Blue Valley. Leggio breaking 2 tackles. Leggio stays on his feet to the 25 as he gets torn down just shy of the first down marker. It's going to be 3rd and short for Rockhurst near the Blue Valley 25-yard line. Now they are going to signal. Well, no. It's going to be well short. So they're going to say Leggio actually stepped out of bounds back near the 28-yard line. And so he's going to be 5 yards shy. So the back judge says he steps out short of where he went down. And now 3rd and what looked like one's going to be 3rd and 5 for Rockhurst. 3:48 to go till halftime. This Blue Valley crowd gets loud. Smurt from the shotgun. Low snap. He's going to roll right on the snap. Steps up, throws over the middle. Caught. Great diving grab made by Bashoner. That's going to be a first down to the 18.
And Bashoner just kind of sat in the middle of that zone that Blue Valley was running in the back half of their secondary. And just a nice, safe valve there for Smurt. Smurt just able to keep the play alive, able to find his man. That's a huge first down pickup for this Rockhurst offense.
I've been very impressed with this Bashoner kid. 6'4", 205, great size, but he has shown fantastic hands, hanging on to everything they've thrown his way tonight. 1st and 10, they're going to run a toss play to Leggio, trying to get to the far sideline. Good downfield blocks. He's across the 10, pounding his way to the 5-yard line. It's going to be 1st and goal, Hawklets on the Leggio 13-yard carry. And
now I think Rockhurst is finally starting to find some success in the running game with the pitches. They've been able to get a couple of yards. I know one was negated by a holding penalty, but getting to the outside, it looks like that's where Leggio's kind of more comfortable. He's a bigger body, but it looks like he's got a couple of extra notches to go to as well. And this is a big play here for Rockhurst.
1st and goal, and we're going to talk about it. Timeout, Blue Valley. Coach Terrell wants to talk about it with 3:12 to go till halftime. Again, I'm Tim Spurl. He's Taylor Dameron. This has lived up to the billing. We thought this would be a fun game. Last year, we talked about it, 42-7. Rockhurst dominated Blue Valley. It's a very different Blue Valley team than what we saw a year ago, and they're getting better, I think, week in and week out. We saw them week 1, and Aquinas really took care of them, kind of wiped the floor with them, but they have gotten better each week since.
Yeah, they've gotten a lot better. Going into that second week with Blue Valley North, when a lot of people, Blue Valley North was coming off a 27-20 loss to Miege. A lot of people, saw the scores, thought, North should be getting a 2-0. And then Blue Valley was able to take it to them at Blue Valley North, was able to win that one 34-7, and then last week beating Blue Valley Southwest. And I think the big difference with Blue Valley this year compared to last year's health.
Yeah,
last year they had a lot of injuries that occurred, especially about this time of the year. Whenever they were playing Rockhurst and Miege, kind of in that middle of that schedule. So that's the big difference with Blue Valley. But this defense just seems like it has a lot more juice than it did last year. I think last year they really struggled to. The offense for Blue Valley struggled to stay on the field, and this defense just feels like it has a new energy about it.
1st and goal out of the timeout. Smurt's going to run a quarterback keeper right side, lowering the shoulder. He's inside the 3 near the 2-yard line. Meanwhile, again for this Rockhurst team, 3-1 coming in. And this offense trying to find their footing. And they're going to need this offense to catch up with the defense. The defense has been fantastic, but here the offense trying to take advantage of a short field. There's been a good drive behind the strong running of Joe Leggio, the sophomore tailback. It'll be 2nd and goal from the 2-yard line for the Hawklets. Trying to knot us up, 2:44 to go till halftime. 7-0 Blue Valley, but the Hawklets knocking on the door from the 2-yard line. They're going to go 3 wide to the left side. The tailback is Max Williams. Smurt under center. He's going to keep it behind right guard, pushing for the end zone. Second effort's got it in. Nick Smurt is into the end zone on a fantastic effort play from the quarterback. He was plugged up immediately, and then he kept fighting, found a hole right side, and get into the end zone, and they are within an extra point now of tying this game.
Yeah, that's a big response. Being able to score off that turnover for Rockhurst, maybe that gets their confidence going. But with 2:29 left to go, both teams right now, Blue Valley gets the ball to start the second half, so this is a big possession really for both teams.
Mr. Automatic Owen Lawson has knotted us up at 7 apiece on your ESPN Kansas City High School Football Game of the Week.
At Menards, save on your next project with 11% off.
Lawson has got it teed up. 2:29 to go till halftime. He bangs this kick out of the back of the end zone. This kid has got a leg. And here comes Blue Valley in a 7-7 game. The energy's starting to pick up in this place. It's real hot in late September, pushing 95 degrees at kickoff. But people are bouncing around, having themselves a time, and it is filled up here at Blue Valley. This is what you expected when Rockhurst crossed over the state line. You expected a big crowd tonight. We expect another big crowd next week when Rockhurst takes on Bishop Miege. It has not disappointed. It's been a fun one so far as we close in on halftime. Wolf will start from the pistol again. 2.5 to go till half. In a 7-7 game as Blue Valley starts from their own 20-yard line after the touchback. Wolf has thrown a touchdown today. Also been picked off one time. They're going to go straight through the middle. Chase Jans picks up 3 yards on the draw play. It'll be 2nd and 7 for the Tigers. Both teams sitting on 2 timeouts remaining in this first half. As we approach the 2-minute mark in this second quarter. Blue Valley quickly back to the line. 3 to the left, 1 to the right as Wolf gets the play call from the sideline. Play clock inside 12. Stevens wide to the right side. Wolf from the pistol. He's going to flare it out for his tailback. Dodges past one tackler. Chase Jans climbs out to the 30. Ball came out at the end of that play. There's a scrum for it near the 30-yard line. Rockhurst says they have it. No signal yet. There's a fight at the bottom of that pile, and it's going to stay with the Tigers. How about the hustle from the left tackle, Caden Kirby, to jump on that pile late and take the ball away, keeps it with the Tigers.
Yeah, that's a big recovery by Blue Valley because, again, you would probably that would be the second straight fumble for Blue Valley at about the same exact spot.
Yeah.
So that with a minute and a half before halftime, that's a big recovery by that left tackle and keeps this drive alive for Blue Valley.
Yeah, clock down to 1:39 and rolling now. And Blue Valley, again, gets that play call in from the sideline. They're letting precious seconds tick away. They still have 2 timeouts left, but they sit at their own 31-yard line in a 7-7 game. Wolf is going to hand off straight up the middle. Jans moves the pile forward just shy of the 35-yard line. And again, where's the urgency here for Blue Valley? 1:18 to go till halftime.
So you would think there would be urgency. Blue Valley gets the ball to start the second half, so you could possibly score here and then get another score out of halftime and be up 2 scores.
Stevens is going to come out here on an island to the left side. They shade the safety his way and now whistles. And a timeout for Rockhurst, 1:02 to go till halftime. And you're kind of scratching your head, I think, if you're a Blue Valley fan. You got this ball with 2.5 to go. Now you've only run 3 plays, and a minute and a half of that clock has come off. And you're still sitting on your own 35-yard line. I mean, yeah, I'm with you. I mean, you're getting the ball first to start the second half. Why not try to attack, see if you can hit a big play? But again, I'm not a coach. I'm paid to be up here, not down there. But I think I'd be more aggressive if I was the Tigers in a 7-7 game.
Yeah, because especially with the only interception that Jake Wolf threw, he got hit after he threw it. So, there was pressure in his face, so be a little bit more aggressive. But maybe with that timeout from Rockhurst, now they take a couple more shots. The Blue Valley does have 2 timeouts remaining. Rockhurst only has 1 remaining. So Blue Valley can take shots anywhere on the field, really. And obviously in high school, too, it's like college. You get a first down, the clock stops. So you can get up to the line, spike it, or run a play. So kind of, like you said, head-scratching that aggressiveness hasn't been there from Blue Valley.
We'll see if they're aggressive out of the timeout. On a 2nd and 6, Wolf is going to roll right. He's going to zip a deep ball right side and way overshot his receiver, Dorian Stevens. And now it's 3rd and 6, 56 seconds to go till halftime. And on the other side of that coin, if you're Rockhurst, you're still sitting on a timeout. And now 56 seconds, if you can get a stop here, you're going to have time to do something with the ball on your side.
Yeah, say if they hold them here, force a 4th down, I would assume Rockhurst is going to call a timeout, get the football back, and take a couple shots.
This is a big 3rd down play. Again, knotted up at 7 as we're inside of a minute to go till halftime. Blue Valley from their 35, a 3rd and 6 play. Wolf, short drop, pressure in his face, dumps it off for his tailback in the flat, picks up 1 block. He's got a first down to the midfield. Across the 45-yard line, he's spun out of bounds. That was Chase Jans as he gets out of bounds, stopping the clock at 47 seconds. But there's a flag down back near the first down marker, and this one's coming back.
I think they might have gotten Dorian Stevens on the outside on a hold.
That was one of those downfield blocks picked up by Chase Jans, and that's where the flag was thrown. And it is going to be a hold and negate that big catch and run for Blue Valley. It would have had him at the Rockhurst 45-yard line, but instead they go backwards. And it's a spot foul. So, again, it was right near the line to gain, so it's going to be 3rd and about 11. So this is not an impossible conversion by any stretch, but still very difficult. You got to get out to the Rockhurst 41. Ball sits at the 30-yard line, to the Blue Valley 41. From the 30 and out, flags fly before the snap. Blue Valley wasn't even set yet. They were still getting the play call in. And there was movement from that Rockhurst front, and this is going to give 5 free yards to the Tigers. That's inexcusable.
We're pretty much back where we started before that long pass play.
I mean, they're still getting the play call, and why are you jumping as a defensive lineman? They're not even giving a set call.
ID when you can.
So they get that yardage back, and so we're essentially hitting the reset after a couple of penalties against both sides. And we're going to do this 3rd and 6 all over again. Off the Blue Valley 35, and we pause 10 seconds for station identification.
ESPN Kansas City is KCTE Independence and K233DM Raytown, 1510 AM, 94.5 FM.
The 3rd down carry goes to Grayson Holbert for a first down out to midfield, just shy of it. They spot him at the 48 of Blue Valley. Clock at 42 seconds. They roll it as we close in on halftime. 2 to the left, 2 to the right. Wolf, pistol snap. Getting chased, pressure in his face. He's just going to throw this one away. Trying to pick that one out of the air was Holbert as it sails out of bounds, but an aware play there made by Wolf. He had pressure from 3 white jerseys in his face. He spun around, saw his tailback in the flat, and he just airmailed it way over his head.
Yeah, good play by Jake Wolf because, again, you don't want to take a sack there because that really takes you out of position and most likely have to call 1 of your 2 timeouts. So good awareness there by Jake Wolf to get rid of it. Like you said, there was 3 white shirts there and was able to get Wolf on the ground. 2nd
and 10, 30 seconds to go till halftime. Blue Valley still sitting on 2 timeouts to go in this first half. 2 to the left, 2 to the right. Stevens wide to the left side. Pressure again in the face of Wolf. He's going to throw it away again. 3rd and 10 coming up for the Tigers. 27 seconds to go now till halftime. And I think if you're Blue Valley here with 27 seconds, Rockhurst only has a timeout. You're around midfield. This is a time for a shot, right?
Exactly. I think if you're Jake Wolf, kind of see where Dorian Stevens is. He's been kind of single coverage lately as he's about to go over to the far side. Maybe take a shot to Stevens as he's already got 1 catch for 94 yards.
And again, if you come up short here, I think no harm, no foul, because Rockhurst is not going to have a lot of time to do much with it. Wolf setting up the screen for Chase Jans near side. He is going to trip and stumble down for a loss of a yard, trying to set up a move. He lost his footing. And Rockhurst is going to take their final timeout, stopping the clock with 18 seconds. But again, it's 4th down, so Blue Valley, all they need to do here is get off a clean punt, and we're likely going to be headed for overtime with a 7-7 score.
Yeah, and I think Rockhurst is hoping for obviously a bad snap, high snap, something like that. Call that timeout, maybe even a possible bad punt to be able to take one more shot towards the end zone. So smart timeout by Rockhurst. You only got one left, 18 seconds left. See if something bad will happen. You've already seen one snap kind of roll on the ground, so maybe Rockhurst side hoping that happens again.
And you'd imagine if you're Coach Severino over there in his final season that you're telling your team, let's try to go get this punt. You're not worried about setting up a return, I don't think. I think they'll bring the house as Blue Valley will be, again, snapping this ball off their own 46-yard line. And the offense will go back out there on a 4th and long, but again, we've seen this from Blue Valley where their quarterback will just take a few steps back before the snap and pooch this ball. And that's exactly what Jake Wolf will do, is he'll punt this one over everybody's head, hit inside the 20, check up near the 18-yard line, get down with 9 seconds to go. And they'll let it tick all the way down to 6 seconds before they stop it, and that's likely going to be the signal that we're out of this first half. Rockhurst, I don't think they're going to take a shot here, as they'd have to go more than 82 yards to get a score before we head off to the locker rooms. 7-7 game. It has been a fantastic first half, defensive-minded first half. Seen a couple of turnovers. Rockhurst took it away twice from Blue Valley, once on an interception of Jake Wolf, and they forced a fumble in this second quarter. But the Blue Valley defense, they haven't taken it away from Rockhurst, but they have been physical, and they have flown to the football. So Rockhurst, they'll come out in the shotgun, 3 wide receivers to the left side for Smirt. Should be the last play of the first half. Smirt is going to roll left on the snap, dodge pressure. He is going to tuck it. He is going to slide down near the 10-yard line. That one was not going to set up for Rockhurst the way they wanted it, and we're headed for the locker room. 7-7 in a defensive slugfest from Blue Valley High School. We got going early at 4 o'clock this afternoon, but both teams have come out ready to play. Tie game as we head for break on your ESPN Kansas City High School football game of the week.
Football is back.
7 score between the Tigers of Blue Valley and the visiting Hawklets of Rockhurst High School. It's a matchup of a couple of top 15 teams in the city. Blue Valley, of course, comes into this game as the 11th ranked team in the A10varsity.com poll, and Rockhurst the number 9 team in that A10varsity.com poll. And again, we got started at 4 o'clock this afternoon due to the weather that's headed for Kansas City. Everything moved up either a day or a few hours for kickoff this Friday night. And Taylor, let's talk about a couple of those games from last night. A lot of scores, not only from the Kansas side, but also the Missouri side. You've got those pulled up. Give us a recap of some of those big games from last night.
Yeah, last night, one of the bigger ones, Lee Summit North and Liberty. Lee Summit North ended up winning that one 27-14. That was a big game in Class 6, District 4. Lee Summit West traveled to Staley and won that one 40-0. And then Park Hill, Ray Peck, in a game that didn't have much offense, Park Hill winning that one 13-10. Lee Summit went to Park Hill South and won that one in a shootout, 45-35. Liberty North continues their run as they move to 5-0. They are 42-7 winners over St. Joe Central. William Chrisman picked up their first win of the year last night, 15-13 over Truman. Fort Osage knocked off Oak Park, 24-14. Raytown was able to beat Ruskin, 48-6. Platte County beat Raytown South 35-6, and then Harrisonville knocked off Excelsior. Like I mentioned, there was more games, obviously on the Kansas side as well. Blue Valley West and Blue Valley North, that game went into double overtime. Blue Valley West was able to take that one 28-25. Gardner Edgerton beats Olathe East, a very good Olathe East team. They beat the Hawks 34-6. Lawrence Free State knocks off Shawnee Mission West 44-28. Shawnee Mission South falls to Olathe South 16-10. Olathe West gets their first win of the season as they beat Shawnee Mission North 35-12. And then we kind of talked about it during the broadcast. The big kind of stunner from last night was St. James Academy going to Bishop Miege and winning that one 28-27. And then Shawnee Mission East in another close one won their game against Shawnee Mission Northwest 20-19. So that was the games that occurred last night. Kind of a couple of big kind of shockers, kind of especially in the EKL with Blue Valley West and St. James Academy winning those two games last night.
There are some games, of course, going on right now as well. Obviously, this one in a 7-7 tie. Score from Aquinas and Mill Valley, a little bit of a shock. Aquinas only a 7-point advantage over Mill Valley in that one, 14-7. Blue Valley Southwest hanging it on Blue Valley Northwest right now, 21-0. Olathe North in a 17-7 hold to Columbine right now. Baser Linwood and Shawnee Heights in a tight 121-19. Baser a 2-point lead in that game. DeSoto up 21 over the Lansing Lions, 28-7. Paola hanging it on Spring Hill right now, 21-0. Those games in progress, of course, right now. And again, on the Missouri side, a lot of games were played last night. Games in progress right now. Again, not a whole lot of them. Some of them coming up later. Some of them haven't gotten scores, but Blue Springs and Blue Springs South. That was a 5 o'clock scheduled kickoff. Odessa and Oak Grove. They got going at 4:30. Sedalia, Smith Cotton, Smithville. A 4:30 kickoff. Belton, North Kansas City, scheduled for 5:30. Grandview and Kearney, 5:30. And a couple of 7 o'clock games in the area, but again, a lot of the Missouri side hasn't gotten going yet on this Friday, but for the Kansas side, they have gotten going. Some of those games approaching halftime. Some of them already are at halftime. But again, you talked about the Missouri scores, talked about the Kansas scores. What really caught your eye from either side of the state line last night?
I think Lee Summit West going to Staley on the Missouri side, winning that one 40-0. I kind of thought Staley would. I know Lee Summit West is a really good football team this year, but I thought Staley would kind of put up a little bit more of a fight there. And again, you got to talk about it. St. James Academy going to Bishop Miege. Yeah. That's the big one. I mean, in the EKL, normally whenever Aquinas and Miege meet towards the end of the year, the winner of that wins the EKL. Now, Aquinas kind of has a clearer path. And games in progress, the game that kind of surprised me is Mill Valley and Aquinas.
Yeah.
Mill Valley last week, the only reason why they lost was on a kickoff return for a touchdown against Bishop Miege. So Mill Valley, I think, has improved since week 1. And Aquinas last year, that was their closest game last year, was the regular season matchup against Mill Valley. They only beat them by 11. That ended up being their closest matchup all season last year. So Mill Valley's kind of been a team that's been tough for Aquinas, but so far it's really kind of the surprises throughout. I think Blue Valley West beating Blue Valley North comes as a little bit of a surprise, but not too much after the way kind of Blue Valley North has started this season.
And as far as the Aquinas-Mill Valley matchup, I think that one really should grab people's attention across the metro. Obviously, they're still likely in the first half of that game. Not sure exactly how much time left. They got going about 4 o'clock as well. But those two teams will likely meet again in the 5A playoff. So, obviously, Mill Valley gave them a tough time last year in the regular season. Aquinas really took care of them on one of the coldest nights in recent memory for a playoff game last year when those two teams met in the quarterfinals. But again, assuming everything goes as it should, assuming it's chalk, those two teams will meet again in the 5A playoff. So this is going to be a matchup that people circle here. We'll see how Mill Valley does. We'll pay attention to that game because, again, that's likely going to be a preview of a playoff matchup. Could be quarterfinal, could be a semifinal game, depending on how the seeding comes out. But I'm with you. Lee Summit West putting it on a Staley team that a lot of people respected. Obviously, they've been very good the last couple of seasons, and I'm not saying they're not good, but just more impressive that Lee Summit West took them down the way they did.
Yeah, because normally I can't remember the last time Staley lost that way. Staley normally when they lose by 7, they lose by 10, but they don't lose by 40. So that score just kind of jumps out of you because of how good Staley's been ever since really they became a school, back in 2008, 2009. So, that's kind of the big surprise there. But like you said, Lee Summit West is probably one of the better teams in the area. They went and took care of business, and really, Staley's going to have to find themselves because with that loss, that can be a deflating loss when you're not kind of used to losing that way.
Ray Peck, they tested Park Hill, but the Trojans advance, and that was a tight one, 13-10 in that game. And again, we were talking about it a couple of times. St. James shocks Bishop Miege last night, 28-27, and Miege, well, you better pick yourself up quick because you've got Rockhurst next week. And again, we've watched Rockhurst for one half here as we get ready to take one more step aside before we bring you to the second half. But real quickly on Rockhurst, the offense, they're still trying to come along, figure out what works for them, but the defense, you can't argue, has been phenomenal.
Yeah, the defense has been phenomenal all season. Coming into this game, they've only been giving up 10 points a game. And in their one loss so far this year to Blue Springs, they only gave up 17. So it's not like they gave up 40 or anything like that. But like you said, Bishop Miege, you can't feel sorry for yourself because next week you got to go to Rockhurst. And like I mentioned, in 2 weeks, you got an Aquinas football team that's probably, you kind of mentioned it in week 1. It would be an interesting matchup between CBC and Aquinas, kind of the two better teams in each state there. So don't have much time to feel sorry for yourself because Bishop Miege, could be looking at a 2-3 loss season if they do.
Miege will have to pick themselves up, but both of these teams will have to find some answers in the second half. We're tied at 7. We're going to step aside one more time. Second half kickoff coming up. Blue Valley and Rockhurst knotted up at 7 on your ESPN Kansas City High School football game of the week.
It's halftime of the high
Kansas City and Sports Radio 810 High School Football Game of the Week. Happy to have you along on ESPN Kansas City on this late Friday afternoon here in September. And again, this is a game that doesn't do much for your district standing, as a couple of teams from across the state line meet up, but a lot for bragging rights. This means a lot to both communities. We've got a 7-7 game here at halftime. Blue Valley scored on a 94-yard touchdown strike in the second quarter from Jake Wolf to Dorian Stevens. Rockhurst forced a turnover a couple of drives later, and then off a short field drove 33 yards and capped it with a 2-yard touchdown plunge from the quarterback Nick Smirt to tie us up at 7 apiece. And Taylor, as we look forward to the second half, again, the defenses were really good offensively for both teams. What needs to be the focus in this second half?
If you're Blue Valley, hang on to the football. Had an interception, had a couple of fumbles. You only lost one, but you kind of put a couple on the ground there late. And really just try to keep pressure off of Jake Wolf, because we've seen it. We saw it in week 1. When he has pressure, very kind of ineffective. But if he has time, he can make really good throws. So I think if you're Blue Valley, just kind of keep Jake Wolf off the turf. And I think if you're Rockhurst, you just got to maybe quit shooting yourself in the foot. There's been a couple of holding calls at the wrong time. And then also just no protection sometimes for Smirt. Sometimes Smirt drops back, 3-step drop, and he's got 2 or 3 guys in his face. Now, granted, one of those guys is normally Mason Richmond.
Yeah.
So the Iowa commit. So he's been kind of abusing those 2 tackles right now for Rockhurst. But I think if you're Rockhurst, possibly maybe run some plays away from Richmond, force Richmond to kind of make some athletic plays, be able to stop him, because he's kind of been a wrecking ball so far for that Rockhurst offense.
Also for Rockhurst, got to get Luke Bishoner the ball as much as possible. The guy caught everything they threw his way in that first half. He looked very impressive, and again, 6'4", tough to guard on the edge. And I imagine he'll be getting a lot more passes thrown his way in this second half. And for Blue Valley, again, we've talked about this kid, Jake Wolf, at quarterback. Only a junior, and he hadn't taken a meaningful snap prior to the start of this season at quarterback. But just coming into the year, he had the attention of a lot of Power 5 schools across the country. I mean, schools like Georgia, Iowa, Iowa State, KUMU, and K-State were all interested in this kid. But really, this was going to be his audition shape. His junior season was really going to put him either into that real big Power 5 category or put him on the fringe of some of those smaller scholarship offers, depending on how he played this season. And this second half against Rockhurst, a premier defense in Kansas City, this could be a coming out party for Jake Wolf, or Rockhurst could flex their muscles and put his recruitment on a little bit of a derailment.
Yeah, I mean, that junior year is just massive from many different parts, because your junior year, after your junior year, is really when you start getting invited to all those camps, the senior camps, where there's a lot of colleges, around the country, there's a lot of camps in the KC area that you can go to and stuff like that. But like you said, this could be a huge, thing to put on tape. You're tied 7-7 against Rockhurst, the premier program in the area, and say you throw a couple of touchdowns, throw a couple 100 yards, looks pretty good, and they kind of get that recruitment going. But again, Rockhurst's defense has looked pretty good, pretty stifled them so far. So we'll see kind of how this second half goes. But I would expect Jake Wolf to kind of make a little bit of adjustments, try to get the ball out of his hands quicker, because as he gets the ball out of his hands quicker, they've seen a lot of success.
We're still bouncing out here at Blue Valley, despite the heat, despite the early unconventional start. They're fired up and they're ready for half number 2. The Rockhurst crowd, they're bouncing over there as well. Blue Valley set to touch it first in this second half. The wind's starting to blow. We're looking at the web stream of the Aquinas game here at halftime. Aquinas, by the way, has gone up another touchdown, 21-7 over Mill Valley at halftime. But again, the clouds look like they've covered over there at Mill Valley. So headed this way, the wind's starting to pick up. We could see inclement weather by the end of tonight's game. But the second half, we're still hot and sunny. And here's the kickoff end over end for the far pylon. Caught on the run across the 20-yard line by Chase Jans near the 25. And he's gang tackled near the 29-yard line. And here comes the Tigers again. Their touchdown was a one-play, 94-yard strike from Jake Wolf to Dorian Stevens in the second quarter. Other than that, the offense has turned the ball over twice and had a tough time getting rolling against this Rockhurst defense.
Yeah, this Rockhurst defense has just made it tough. Jake Wolf just hasn't had too much time to be able to throw in the pocket. But I think if you can get Wolf a couple of quick passes, get the confidence going a little bit, I think you can see Wolf really put up some good stats here in the second half.
They start off their own 29-yard line. They're going to keep it on the ground on a first down carry that goes nowhere behind left guard. First carry of the third quarter goes to Chase Jans. He started the game at tailback, but again, backfield by committee. They basically split carries between Holbert and Chase Jans. Neither of them really got going. Grayson Holbert had a couple of good runs in that first quarter, but really this running game, outside of those two runs, they haven't done much.
I was saying, outside of really that big play from Dorian Stevens, this offense as a whole really hasn't done a whole heck of a lot so far in this game.
They hand it off again on second down, and again it goes nowhere. Jans was hit about a yard deep in the backfield, bounced off, and fought his way back to the line of scrimmage. And here comes a 3rd and 9 play for Blue Valley to start this third quarter. Near their own 30-yard line, got to get out to the 39. To keep this drive alive, move the chains in this Kansas heat in late September. Cars still pulling into the parking lot here at Blue Valley High School. 2 left and 2 right. They send a man in motion across the formation. They're going to give it to Jansen. He's going to get snowed under back at the 27-yard line. The linebacker, Chuck Ingram, crashes in to make the stop, and it's going to be 4th down and a 3 and out for the Tigers offense.
Yeah, kind of curious with the 3 runs. Figured maybe at least on 3rd down, kind of try to air it out a little bit, but we'll see if this Blue Valley defense can keep this Rockhurst offense from taking their first lead in the ballgame.
Punt unit out there for Blue Valley. That means Henry Krebs and Connor Ryan back deep for the Hawklets. Set to get the football back early in this third quarter. Rugby-style punt's going to be a low-line drive, hit across midfield, and check up near the 48-yard line. Not a great punt for the Tigers, and boy, they know it, as Rockhurst is going to set up shop with great field position near midfield at the 48-yard line. It was not the regular punter Colin Wood. It was Ethan Bartley, the backup punter for Blue Valley. And again, it was a rugby-style punt, but he didn't get a lot of air under it. And again, it got knocked down in this wind and died just across midfield.
I'm going to say, like you said, right before this half started, the wind is starting to pick up just a little bit. So going into the wind, it's going to be tough kind of if you have to punt, kick, anything like that for Blue Valley. It's going to be tough sledding.
Smirt out of the I formation. He's going to hand off to Leggio, bouncing it outside, trying to get to the sideline. He's 3 yards deep in the backfield, and he's going to get sprang down. Loss of maybe 2. He fought back for a little bit of yardage, but again, they were trying to run that stretch play, and Leggio bounced it out, tried to get wide, and ended up losing a couple of yards.
Yeah, and it all started with Mason Richmond. He didn't make the tackle, but he was able to get into the backfield and force Leggio to kind of bounce that outside and allowed the pursuit of Blue Valley to get there. So that was a good play by Mason Richmond. Again, getting in the backfield, it seems like pretty much every single play.
Continues to wreak havoc. 2nd and 12 after the loss of 2 yards. Inside 10 minutes to go in this third quarter, 7-7 game. Shotgun snap for Smirt. Pressured right up the middle. Rainbow deep right side. That's hauled in at the 30-yard line and getting dragged down near the 25. Another grab for Bashoner.
And you mentioned it, Bashoner so far, I think he's caught everything that's been thrown to him. That's a difficult catch that he just made. He was able to come down with it. That's a big play as Smirt kind of stayed in the pocket, was able to deliver that football.
Catches everything thrown his way. This guy, he can play some football. And again, 6'4", fantastic size. We keep talking about it. But great hands. That ball was underthrown. He fought his way back to the ball. And another terrific catch by Bashoner. They're going to give to Leggio on a toss play going wide. Cuts it up near the middle of the field. Breaking tackles. Still on his feet to the 10. Lost the football. Blue Valley's first one there. And a turnover for this Tiger defense.
Big turnover because Leggio was coming for the touchdown. It looked like he was about to break a couple more tackles, and a huge fumble recovery there by Blue Valley.
That would have been a first down. Leggio breaking tackles. That was a fantastic run, but near the end of that run, another great hit by this Tiger defense. Ball pops up, and Blue Valley, right place, right time. They've got their first takeaway of the ball game, but they will start again deep inside their own territory. So you get the turnover, but now you got to start from your own 9-yard line. I don't think you're going to complain too much if you're Coach Terrell. Shotgun snap, they're going to go to the air. The out route is complete across the 18-yard line, and getting dropped immediately was the junior receiver, Gillen, right near the first down marker.
So, and again, that was a quick throw from Jake Wolf, and he was able to get there, be able to get it out of his hands and deliver that nice football.
They're going to give him 10 and a first down on the reception. So they move the chains and climb their way out to the 18-yard line, 2 to the right side for Wolf as he checks the sideline again. And again, fans continuing to file in here at Blue Valley. They're going to give it on a stretch play. Holbert gets dropped at the 19-yard line. Good open field tackle made by Tucker Atwood, the linebacker, 5'11", 210. And now Holbert remains down. Tucker Atwood, he's got an offer from Emporia State, hoping to reel in a few more offers before his senior year is done. And it was a good open field tackle, good hard tackle. And now Holbert, like I mentioned, remains on the ground for Blue Valley. Help to his feet, but he has got a serious limp as he hobbles off here on the near side. So everyone holding their collective breath for Blue Valley, but Holbert at least able to get off the field under his own power. Only a gain of a yard on first down to make it 2nd and 9 for the Tigers. In front of a big crowd here at Blue Valley High School on a hot late September day. Again, at about 6 o'clock, I've been told we'll make the switch, I believe, from ESPN Kansas City to Sports Radio 810. Hang with us through the next commercial break, and I'll be able to tell you that definitively. But 8:37 to go here, third quarter. Blue Valley, a 2nd and 9. Wolf, he gets this pass batted down at the line of scrimmage. The DN, Chuck Ingram, elevates to knock that one away. 3rd and 9.
Brings up 3rd and 9 for the Tigers at their own 20-yard line.
You got to get out to the 29 for a first down, and this is a difficult situation for Blue Valley. Your own 20-yard line. This Rockhurst front, they've been getting after you. 3 to the right, 1 to the left. Dorian Stevens is wide to the right side. He has the 94-yard touchdown reception in this game. Jans is the tailback. Wolf is going to roll right on the snap. Pressure, trying to set up the screen. Batted down again. And another fantastic play, this time from the other DN, Cassius Howell.
And Cassius Howell read the screen. And luckily he's a bigger body too, so he was able to jump up, make a good athletic play. Because it looked like if Wolf was going to be able to complete that pass, there was going to be some green in front to be able to make that play.
6'3", 205. He got up and batted that screen pass away. And now the punt unit back out there for Blue Valley, and another punt for the Tigers. Rockhurst will try to set up the return here, and this is a better punt. A line drive will hit near midfield, take a Blue Valley hop across the 35-yard line all the way down near the 32. That was a much better punt that time, and Rockhurst will start from their own 32-yard line. 8:17 to go, third quarter. Still 7-7 ball game on ESPN Kansas City, your high school football game of the week between Rockhurst High School and Blue Valley High School. Again, weather on the way to Kansas City, so we got going early today at 4 o'clock, booted us off 8:10 and on to ESPN Kansas City. And from the 32-yard line, we'll start the Hawklets. Again, looking for answers offensively. They've already touched it once in this first quarter, but a fumble as they got deep into Blue Valley territory. But again, Joe Leggio, the sophomore tailback, coughed it up at the end of a long run and gave it back to the Tigers. Leggio not on the field to start this drive, and Sid Max Williams, the tailback. They're going to fake it to him, and Smirt on a keeper. This one's going to get blown up. And getting back to the line of scrimmage and no more was Nick Smirt, but Blue Valley sniffed that one out.
And it also looked like there was a little bit of a rush there from Rockhurst as the play clock was running down. So it looked like just Smirt just kind of tried to do whatever he could. Miscommunication looked like up front from Rockhurst.
2nd and 11. Inside 8 minutes to go, third quarter. Blue Valley has already punted twice in this third quarter, and again, Rockhurst turning it over after getting inside the Blue Valley red zone in this third quarter. Smirt, shotgun snap on a 2nd and 11. Rolls left, fires an out route left side, completes it to his tight end, who spun around and dropped just shy of the 40-yard line. Second catch of the game for Cassius Howell. The DN just made a play on defense, and now there is a flag in the secondary, and Blue Valley reacting as if it's against Rockhurst.
So I think it'll be offensive pass interference.
And it is. Offensive pass interference against the Hawkless, so I didn't see what happened, but I feel like Howell had to go on the out route. He must have pushed to get some separation. That's the only explanation I could think of.
I think it might have been Beshner. As he was coming in, it looked like he kind of shoved a defender before the ball got to the receiver.
Either way, you go from 3rd and 3 to now 2nd and forever. They're going to mark this one all the way back at the Rockhurst 16-yard line. You got to get out to the 42 to move the chains. That is a big penalty in a game where offense has been real hard to come by for both teams.
Yeah, we kind of talked about it coming out of halftime. It's been just real bad timing for these penalties for Rockhurst. That's kind of taken away big plays for Rockhurst, and the fumble was a big play as well. So, Rockhurst is kind of shooting themselves in the foot, especially here in the last 2 quarters.
2nd and forever for the Hawklets. Smirt, low snap, stepping up in the pocket, throwing a dart over the middle for Howell. He's got him at the 35-yard line. Ran him right up the seam, and Howell, after having his 8-yard grab get called back due to penalty, makes up for it here with a 15-yard catch. And it's going to set up at 3rd and 8. So that is a great strike on a 2nd and 26 to make up for that penalty.
Yeah, it was a great strike, and the receiver there just boxed out his defender, was able to get that catch. That was a good catch.
This Blue Valley crowd makes some noise on a 3rd down. 6:35 to go, 3rd quarter. Smirt is going to roll right, pressure in his face. He dumps it into the flat and low and incomplete. He was looking for Howell again on the out route, but the pressure forced that incompletion. It'll be 4th down.
As in, again, Smirt just wasn't able to stay in the pocket due to the pressure. Had to roll out here to the near side. He just really had to get rid of it or he's going to get sacked. So smart play by Smirt, and Smirt kind of threw it into traffic, so threw it low so it wouldn't be intercepted.
Jeffries back deep to return for Blue Valley, and Owen Lawson back on for Rockhurst. They come after this one. Lawson gets rid of a banger. Jeffries called for a fair catch and muffs it. Picked up by the Hawklets at the 18 of Blue Valley. Jeffries muffs the punt, and the Rockhurst Hawklets have got it back 18 yards away from taking the lead.
Yeah, I say that Jeffries I don't think was set whenever he caught that, and I think he kind of took his eyes off the football and just went right through his hands, and Rockhurst was able to recover it. And again, second turnover that Rockhurst has recovered inside Blue Valley's 30-yard line. Last time they were able to score. We'll see if Rockhurst can score here.
And that was an absolute rocket off the foot of Owen Lawson. He hit it hard, he hit it high, and Jeffries, I don't think he was ready for the velocity on that punt, and it came shooting off his chest. From the 18, Smirt under center. They're going to set up the toss play to Leggio. Trying to get to the sideline, a stiff arm, and he gets upended near the 17-yard line. They tried to get wide, but Blue Valley's got some speed on the defensive side.
Yeah, and Blue Valley's been really good about pursuing to the football, and Leggio right now also, too, could be in his mind just hang on to the football. So it looked like he didn't have as much speed as he has so far early on in this football game.
6:08 to go, 3rd quarter, 7-7 between Blue Valley and Rockhurst, but Rockhurst, following that muffed punt recovery, has got it 2nd and 10 from the Blue Valley 18-yard line. Leggio stays on. He'll line up as a slot receiver to the right side. Williams the deep back. They're going to fake it to him. Smirt on a bootleg right side, trying to get to the edge. Cut back near the hash mark, and he falls forward to the 10-yard line. 8 yards on the ground for the quarterback, Smirt.
And you've seen Smirt, you've seen Rockhurst try to run that bootleg a little bit. Probably the most successful bootleg that they have so far in this one. And Smirt able to make. A couple guys missed. Good athlete, got down to about the 11-yard line, so it makes it very 3rd and manageable.
This is a chip shot for the kicker, Owen Lawson, but you know Coach Severino would love to come away with 6 points on this drive. 3rd and 3 for the Hawklets. 3 down linemen for Blue Valley. They creep those linebackers up near the line. Smurt dodges past one. He cuts it up. He's got a first down as he lowers the shoulder to the 6-yard line. He was in trouble, and Nick Smurt, with some athleticism, wiggles free for 6 yards and a first down.
So there's also a late flag as Smirt's helmet came off.
And it's down near the point of contact, so you would imagine it would be against Blue Valley on the tackle. Rockhurst signaling that it's against Blue Valley. And it is a personal foul against the Tigers. And that's going to make this 1st and goal from near the 3-yard line for Rockhurst, a half the distance penalty. And yeah, coming off the field, the side judge says that Smurt had his helmet ripped off. So Smurt remains out there at quarterback, as he'll line up under center with a deep back from the 3-yard line. Smurt turns, gives right side to Ingram, lowering the shoulder and banging his way into the end zone. Rockhurst goes on top on the 3-yard touchdown run from the fullback Chuck Ingram. No problem behind that big right side of the offensive line, and Chuck Ingram gets low for his first touchdown of the year.
So again, so far the 2 drives that Rockhurst has scored on have been because of 2 fumbles that they were able to recover in Blue Valley territory.
Extra point up and through. 14-7 off the short field. Another turnover for the Tigers results in 6 for Rockhurst. They lead 14-7 on your ESPN Kansas City High School football game of the week. As it teed up, 14-7 to Rockhurst. 1 touchdown advantage over the Blue Valley Tigers as this kick sails through the back of the end zone. And here comes that Blue Valley offense. 5:01 to go 3rd quarter. The Tigers in a 7-point hold. They struck first in this game. They led 7-0 in that 2nd quarter. Rockhurst tied it going into the break, and then Blue Valley was set to get the football back. They muff a punt. And then Rockhurst, they take advantage of the short field, and it was Chuck Ingram capping it off with a 3-yard touchdown run. Now a 14-7 lead for Rockhurst. This is where they like it, where their defense can take over games, playing with the lead, and now the pressure falls onto the Tigers' shoulders.
Yeah, and outside of that Dorian Stevens 94-yard touchdown, this offense really hasn't done much for Blue Valley. So this is kind of a big drive for Blue Valley. Move the football a little bit, take up some clock, and also move the football, get some confidence going for your offense.
They're going to keep it on the ground on 1st down, dodging in and out of tacklers, picking up about 3 yards is Chase Jansen. Something interesting there at the tail end of that kickoff, Mason Richmond, the future Hawkeye, the 6'6", 250-pound defensive lineman for Blue Valley, didn't want to come off the field. It looked like he was talking to his coach about going out on offense, and he was a 2-way player last year for Blue Valley, a dominant 2-way player. And again, he can do both, play defensive end and tight end, and it looked like he wanted to stay out there and go onto the offensive side of the football with the rest of his Blue Valley teammates. But again, he has not taken an offensive snap this season. And he remains on the bench on a 2nd and 6 play. Wolf wants to go to the area, fires a slant route, complete, caught in stride at midfield. This one's going to be a foot race and getting dragged down and losing the football. Rockhurst has got another turnover. Tate Gillen got stripped from behind, and now there's a discussion of whether he was down or whether that ball came out. That one looked like a fumble from our vantage point. The Tiger offense stays out there, and it looks like they're going to let Blue Valley keep this football.
It was close, whichever way. It looked like a fumble, like you said, from our vantage point, but it was close. Probably could have gone either way. But again, if you're Blue Valley, you really need to focus on hanging on to the football. That's the fourth time you've put the ball on the ground. That could have been your third fumble that you lost.
Boy, Tigers dodge a bullet. 4:03 to go, third quarter. They've got it from the Rockhurst 43-yard line. 3 right, 1 left. Wolf wants to go to the air, fires for Stevens in stride from the 25, making a man miss inside the 10. 5, Dorian Stevens, house call number 2, and it's a 1-point game. Big play, Stevens, striking for a second time in this game.
So he only has 2 catches, but probably has the 2 most important catches so far for Blue Valley that both resulted in a touchdown. And you just see the athleticism, what has programs excited about recruiting Dorian Stevens. Big, athletic, and can really catch the football and make guys miss after he catches it.
A 43-yard touchdown strike after the questionable call. The extra point is up and through. Rockhurst sideline is hot. Blue Valley is celebrating. We've got a tie game. Stay with us and strap up. This one's getting good on your ESPN Kansas City High School Football Game of the Week. This place is rocking. 3:50 to go, third quarter. Blue Valley has just tied it with a 43-yard touchdown strike from Wolf to Stevens. Colin Wood has it teed up at the 40 as he throws this one across the turf. This is picked up off a bobble by the up man across the 30-yard line. Out to the 35 goes the tailback Joe Leggio. And that's the second time we've seen Blue Valley go with just that turf burner there where they're screaming that one instead of kicking it deep. And again, Rockhurst left solid starting field position here as they'll start this drive just south of the 35-yard line. 3:44 to go, third quarter. As we approach 6 o'clock, I remind you that we will be on the air on Sports Radio 810 as well as ESPN Kansas City starting at 6 o'clock. Smirt, low snap. He's going to give to Williams, who gets up ended a yard deep in the backfield. Again, that linebacking core flying to the football. That time, it was Cole Ross. Palmer, the safety, was also in the backfield, and it's 2nd and 11. But this one is starting to get good, and we were just talking about it in the break. Blue Valley dodged a bullet. Again, prior to that touchdown throw, Tate Gillen got chased down, and it was a bang-bang play. As he was going to the ground, it looked like he lost that football. They ruled him down. Next play, Blue Valley's in the end zone. That's a play you're going to circle later on in this game. 2nd and 11, Smirt trying to motion a man across the formation. He finally does. That's Williams in motion to the right side. Smirt looking left side. He's going to throw a hitch route, complete it left side for a minimal gain. As Howell was coming back to the football, and he ran backwards trying to dodge a tackle, or actually forward progress. They mark it all the way up near the 40-yard line. It's a really good spot after he got gang tackled back near the 37-yard line.
Because it looked like he kind of, like you mentioned, went backwards before he got hit. So good spot, but 3rd and 5, kind of a big spot really for both teams. The momentum's with Blue Valley as you kind of hear this crowd get up. And Rockhurst really trying to keep this drive alive, put together a drive.
Smirt looking right, rolling right. Palmer in his face, fires a deep out route and caught. Another sliding grab made, this time by the slot man, Connor Ryan.
Yeah, and Smirt, Bo Palmer came on a safety blitz. Looked like a couple of guys from the secondary came for Blue Valley. Smirt was able to make that nice play and keep this drive alive. And so far, kind of already mentioned it, both scores came from fumbles with Rockhurst. Blue Valley fumbling at Rockhurst having a short field. We haven't seen Rockhurst really put together a full drive so far in this game. That could be the play that kind of sparks this offense.
From the Blue Valley 44-yard line, they're going to keep it with the quarterback, Smirt, looking for blocking. It doesn't set up for him as it gets dropped a yard deep in the backfield. That was his design bootleg again. They've had some success with that play that time. Blue Valley figured it out.
I say Blue Valley just kind of read it, kind of anticipated what happened. They kind of looked like they called their defense to have 4 or 5 guys over there. So, like you said, the last time they ran the bootleg, it was pretty successful for Smirt. That time wasn't as successful, so it brings up about a 2nd and 11, 2nd and 12.
Well, it's starting to get dark to our west, coming towards us here. 1:22 to go, third quarter, in a 14-14 game. It has been a thriller from Blue Valley. 2nd and 11. 2 to the left, 1 to the right for Smirt from the shotgun. They're bringing pressure at him. Smirt stepping up in the pocket, dodges one. He is going to get dropped back of the 46 of Rockhurst. Blue Valley gets home, and Mason Richmond led the charge.
Yeah, Mason Richmond able to get there. Good thing he did, too, because if you look down in the secondary, Smirt had a couple of guys that if he was able to lead them pretty good, probably in for a touchdown. So that defensive line coming up huge for Blue Valley.
They sent the house on that 2nd and 11 play. They read pass all the way. There is a flag down in the secondary. And this could be in the area of defensive holding. And it will be against the Tigers, so that's a big play. That was the initial signal, at least. And now there's going to be a discussion about it, so hold on. For the time being, it's 3rd and 19, but again, there was a flag on the tail end of that. By the way, Mill Valley has cut into that Aquinas lead in the third quarter. 21-14 game over at Mill Valley, and Mill Valley on the move in the red zone, threatening to possibly tie that game against Aquinas at 21-all. It is going to be a defensive holding on Blue Valley, by the way. And so the penalty is going to put Rockhurst back at the 43-yard line. Set up a 2nd and 9 here. I think there was also a penalty on Rockhurst. There had to be, because it looks like the penalties will just negate each other. There had to be a penalty on Rockhurst as well. They only signaled us defensive holding, but if it's 2nd and 9 from the original line of scrimmage, that's the only explanation I can think of. So Smirt back from the shotgun, low snap, pressure in his face again, stepping up in the pocket, getting chased, and he's going to get dropped again. Back near midfield this time, and this time no flags down. So it's going to be 3rd and long, and Smirt remains down for Rockhurst near midfield. And this is big. As they tend to him, we're going to step aside. 35 seconds remaining in the third quarter, 14-14 on your ESPN Kansas City High School Football Game of the Week, and the Rockhurst quarterback remains down.
Is your
quarterback for the time being, Bobby Hummel out there. Junior, 6 foot 170 behind center. 3rd and 14. How about this for the backup quarterback, Hummel? They're going to put him into the test. He's going to throw a deep ball left side. There's contact and a flag flies. And it looks like there's going to be a defensive pass interference against Blue Valley. They let the backup quarterback go to the air and throw a deep ball on his first play in. And there's going to be a pass interference against the Tigers, and that is going to move the chains for Rockhurst.
And I think Blue looked like there was a little bit of contact, but it looked like the ball might have been possibly uncatchable over his head maybe. So, but Blue Valley, Rockhurst getting a real big break with that play because I don't think the receiver was going to be able to make the catch.
By the way, Mill Valley and Aquinas are tied at 21 in the 3rd quarter. Mill Valley has battled back from down 21-7. They have tied that game. Here in this one, also a tie game. 14 all, 29 seconds to go, 3rd quarter. Rockhurst, after the defensive pass interference, moves the chains. Has got it from the Blue Valley 34-yard line. Hummel, the backup quarterback under center. Smirt just went out of this game. And out flags fly at the snap, and movement against the Hawklets is going to make this a 1st and 15. We can't see Smirt on the far sideline, as right now he's shaded behind his teammates. Speaking of shade, the clouds starting to look ominous to our west as it moves this way. Again, all these games got moved up because of the inclement weather, and it looks like it's making its way out here. 14-14, we've got ourselves a dogfight here at Blue Valley. 1st and 15 after the false start penalty. 3 receivers to the left side. Hummel is going to toss it far side to Williams, trying to get to the edge. Flag flies as he picks up 5s, lowers the shoulder, falls forward for 6 yards. But another penalty in the backfield, and Rockhurst may be moving backwards again.
We've seen Rockhurst with a couple of penalties here. It's a lot more important now with a backup quarterback that you don't want to go backwards, because now you're going to put him in the possibility of having to have him possibly air it out on a couple of downs instead of maybe one, and be like a 3rd and long type deal.
Yeah, so a false start again on Rockhurst. They should have blown that dead. They failed to, and now it's 1st and 20 for the Hawklets. Just 20 seconds remain in this 3rd quarter in a tie game, 14-14 between Rockhurst and Blue Valley here at Blue Valley High School. And if you'll believe it, cars are still pulling into the parking lot here at Blue Valley. And why not? We've got ourselves a great game right now. 14 all as we're getting ready for quarter number 4 here in about 20 seconds. 2 receivers to the right on a 1st and 20 after a couple of false start penalties against Rockhurst. Hummel climbs in under center. He's going to turn, toss it right side for Williams, trying to get to the edge. He's to the edge, across the 30, 20, stiff arm inside the 15, and he's dragged down near the 10-yard line. Rockhurst gets the big play they were looking for all game, and it's Max Williams busting a long one to the 11-yard line of Blue Valley.
Yeah, Max Williams just able to break a couple of arm tackles near the line of scrimmage, and then just kind of took off and was able to get one of the bigger runs for Rockhurst in this game. That's a big run because now 1st and 10 from the 11. Really, you can keep running the football. You don't have to really put it in your backup quarterback's hands. Keep running the football and see if you can't score that way.
Just 11 seconds to go in this 3rd quarter. 1st and 10 for Rockhurst from the Blue Valley 11-yard line. Back into the red zone go the Hawklets in a tie game. Tight end goes in motion. They're going to toss it left side for Williams. Cuts it up in the middle of the field. Flag flies. Flags fly from everywhere. There are 3 flags littering the ground here at Blue Valley. And it looks like this one's going to come back again. It stops the clock with 6 seconds, and it is going to be a hold against the Hawklets. And so now it'll be 1st and 20 for Rockhurst as they go backwards, back near the 20-yard line. They run the clock, and that means we're through 3 quarters. 14-14. Both teams had a touchdown in quarter 3. We head for quarter 4 on your ESPN Kansas City and Sports Radio 810 high school football game of the week. Number 4 with Rockhurst in the Blue Valley Red Zone in a 14-14 game. I'm Tim Spurl. He's Taylor Dameron. Right now joining us on ESPN Kansas City, and here in a few minutes we'll be on both ESPN Kansas City as well as Sports Radio 810. And it remains the backup quarterback, Bobby Hummel, who's going to turn and give to his fullback, Ingram, who goes nowhere. Straight through the middle. Richmond led the charge defensively for Blue Valley, and it's going to be 2nd and 19 for the Hawklets.
I'm saying we'll see. Probably going to expect another run from Rockhurst, and then might see backup quarterback possibly try to fling it around. We've only seen him throw one time, and it resulted in a pass interference.
Again, we can't see Smirt from our vantage point right here. We don't know if he's going to return to this game or not. But for the time being, again, it is the backup, junior Bobby Hummel. 2nd and 19 for the Hawklets. Just underway in this fourth quarter in a 14-14 game from the Blue Valley 19. They're going to toss it to Max Williams, running right side, trying to get to the edge. He is going to get chased down at the 18-yard line. Blue Valley swarming to the football. Here comes 3rd down for Rockhurst.
It'll be 3rd and long. We'll see if they put it in Hummel's hands or continue to run the football.
Yeah, this is a dangerous play here for Rockhurst offensively. With a backup quarterback, you're hesitant to go to the air. You need 17 yards. I'll be shocked if they take a shot for the end zone here.
So I would be as well. It's a tough spot, fourth quarter, tie ball game for a backup quarterback that hasn't played much so far this season. Very tough spot for Hummel if they do decide to air it out.
This Blue Valley crowd gets loud on a 3rd and 17. Hummel, shotgun snap. They're going to run a reverse. Looking for blocking is Leggio. He's in trouble in the backfield. He's going to get snowed under and lost the football. Tigers have got it at the 20-yard line, and Blue Valley forces another turnover. Leggio's 2nd fumble of the ball game.
And that's the absolute last thing you wanted if you were Rockhurst, because you were in field goal range. You have a really good field goal kicker. Hang on to the football. You get a 3-point lead with little over 10 minutes left. Huge turnover from Blue Valley. Let's see if Blue Valley can put a drive together like they did on their last drive and take the lead back with 10:21 left to go here in the fourth quarter.
That is a huge play in this game because that is a chip shot for the kicker, Owen Lawson. A 2nd turnover for Rockhurst, and Blue Valley a big takeaway. They've got it back on offense. 10:21 to go, fourth quarter. And again, Leggio, only a sophomore, his 2nd fumble this afternoon. It's been a rough go for the kid against this Blue Valley Tiger defense. High snap on the ground. That one is going to get picked up by the quarterback, Wolf, as he was getting hit. Nearly a turnover right back.
As they went over Wolf's head, wasn't able to get it, and then it landed on the turf. And as he was going down, lost it again. But Wolf, luckily that it didn't take any weird bounce. But I think if you're Blue Valley, you really need, both teams, got to stop putting the ball on the turf.
2nd and 20. They lose 10 on what was nearly another turnover. Wolf from the shotgun. This snap is fine. He's going to air one out right side for Stevens through his hands, and a flag flies. It was tight coverage, and this is going to be a defensive pass interference call against Stone Hewlett, the 6-foot corner for Rockhurst.
And I think Hewlett would have been fine if he would have just kind of turned around. It looked like when Dorian Stevens went to jump, he never turned his head. So I think that probably is what got Hewlett that flag.
It had to be. I didn't think there was a lot of contact. I thought it was good coverage by Hewlett. But, yeah, like you said, he didn't locate the football, so that's got to be the reason for the flag because it sure wasn't the contact.
I agree with you. There wasn't much. I think the contact was initiated by Stevens when he jumped up to try to get the pass. So, interesting call. Still not a first down, though, if you're Blue Valley. So, if you're Hewlett, next time just kind of turn your head around. I think you got a good play.
Again, not an automatic first down, so still second down, but only 5 to go. Got to get to the 30-yard line for a first down if you're Blue Valley. 9:42 to go fourth quarter after the pass interference call. Wolf from the shotgun looking for Dorian Stevens on a slant route, incomplete. It bangs off his shoulder pad, and again, tight coverage from Stone Hewlett.
Yeah, and Stone Hewlett was the corner on the first touchdown from Dorian Stevens. Had pretty good coverage on that one as well. Hewlett's done a pretty good job so far here on Stevens. I know Stevens' stats are 2 with 100+ and 2 touchdowns, but Hewlett overall has been pretty good on Stevens tonight.
So 3rd and 5, inside 10 to go, fourth quarter for Blue Valley. As Wolf checks the play call in from the sideline. 14-14 game. This game has lived up to the billing between Rockhurst and Blue Valley, and now Blue Valley is going to have to reach into their pocket and take their first time out of this second half. First time out for either team in this second half. So 2 remaining for Blue Valley. By the way, Aquinas has gone back up a score, 28-21. That game now in the fourth quarter. So that one has been a great one. And again, likely a preview of a quarterfinal, maybe a semifinal matchup in Class 5A. These two teams don't have to worry about meeting each other down the line. Obviously, Rockhurst from across the state line and KCMO, and Blue Valley from right here in Overland Park, Kansas. But this has been a fantastic game. These teams met last year, and they met for a second year in a row. They played at Rockhurst last year, 42-7. The Hawklets threw them around. But this year, Blue Valley has gone step for step, punch for punch with the Hawklets.
I say Blue Valley, you can just kind of tell health is just kind of a big reason. A lot of their starters are in, and they've had decent success on the front, on the defensive side, and their offense is starting to a little bit click just a little bit after that last drive.
So out of the timeout, it'll be 3rd and 5, 3 to the left, 1 to the right. The lone man to the right side is Gillen, the junior receiver for Blue Valley. They're going to keep it on the ground. Chase Jantz through the middle. Grayson Holbert through the middle. 7 yards and a first down. And Holbert, again, we talked about him early in the second half. He had a couple of dashing runs in that first half. That was a big call on a 3rd and 5 to go straight through the middle.
Yeah, I'd say that is a huge call just because that defensive line for Rockhurst has played pretty well here in the second half. So being able to get that, it got about 6 yards on that, just got the first down. That's a big play call by Blue Valley to keep this drive alive.
Holbert came off the field a little hobbled after that carry, by the way. He looks fine, though, on the sideline. 1st and 10 for Blue Valley from their own 33-yard line, 9:15 to go fourth quarter. They're going to keep it on the ground with an RPO. They're going to toss it late. This is complete in the flat across the 40-yard line, stumbling to the 45, losing the football. Was it recovered in bounds? Waiting for the signal, and it looks like it will stay with Blue Valley. It was a fantastic play by Wolf on the run, ran the RPO, and then tossed it out last second to Gillen. Gillen lost that football, but they're going to say it got coughed up out of bounds before it was recovered by the Hawklets. Blue Valley moves it into Rockhurst territory at the 49-yard line, but nearly another turnover.
I say again, putting the ball on the turf. Both teams have really done it a lot here in the second half, and Blue Valley's gotten lucky the last 2 times they have. They recovered the last one, and the last one right there, it just was able to bounce out of bounds.
They're going to throw this one over the middle. A sliding catch made for 8 yards by Sterling Lockett. First grab for the sophomore slot receiver. But there is a flag down back near the line of scrimmage. This one could be coming back. An ineligible man down field call against Blue Valley. And again, that's one of those ones where, again, that's more of a mental penalty than anything else.
I couldn't really tell exactly who it was, but possible miscommunication, something like that. But if you're Blue Valley, can't be having those. You get some momentum offensively, can't be having those types of penalties.
1st and 15 after the penalty. Blue Valley sets up shop from their own 46-yard line. 8:48 to go, fourth quarter. Wolf wants to go to the air. Under pressure, dumps it off into the flat for Jeffries, who gets upended near the 48-yard line. Good open field tackle by the corner to the near side, Henry Krebs.
And it was good play by Wolf because Wolf was going to take a sack, didn't really have his feet underneath him, was able to make a nice throw out to Jeffries. Again, like you said, nice open field tackle. Big spot really for both teams. 14-14 as we approach 8 minutes to go in the fourth quarter. If Rockhurst can get a stop, get the ball back to their offense, we'll see if Smyrna's able to come back or not. Could be a big drive for the backup Hummel.
As we approach 8 minutes to go in this fourth quarter in a tie ball game. 2nd and 13, high snap. Wolf drops the football, picks it back up, and he is just going to eat this one near the 44-yard line. They're going to lose about 4 yards. And now 3rd and long, and again, boy, they've had a lot of snaps like that have been all over that Wolf hasn't been able to corral, and you have a hard time blaming the quarterback. But just a lot of high snaps in this game have really hurt Blue Valley.
Yeah, I would say a lot of high drives have kind of killed drives.
Yes.
They get momentum, and then it seems like a high snap really kills the momentum. Lose 4, lose 5. So I think if you're Blue Valley, really need to try to get some consistency with the snaps.
3rd and 17 after the high snap. Wolf has plenty of time, zips one right side, in stride, making a man miss, inside the 20, 15, 10, 5, goodbye! Sterling Lockett has added 6 for the Tigers, and Blue Valley's on the high side.
And that was a great throw by Jake Wolf. You kind of see when he gets time and he has an open receiver, man, he can really put the ball exactly where he needed to. Just kind of ran a little bit of an up route on the sideline. Boy, that was a good ball by Jake Wolf. Huge play by Blue Valley because now if Smirk can't come back, it's on Hummel, the backup quarterback for Rockhurst, to drive Rockhurst all the way down to get a score.
Lockett gets into the end zone, his 2nd touchdown of the year. And the speedster adds 6. The extra point makes it 7. It's 21-14 Blue Valley over Rockhurst on your Sports Radio 810 High School Football Game of the Week. Blue Valley on top of Rockhurst by 7. And again, I told you the energy in this place was electric. And they're still jumping here at Blue Valley. 21-14 off a 56-yard touchdown pass from Jake Wolf to his receiver Lockett. Sterling Lockett, the sophomore. His first catch of the game goes for a touchdown. And now the pressure back onto the Hawklets.
Yeah, the Hawklets really need to try to get something figured out. So far, their 2 scores in the game, like we've mentioned, have come off of turnovers that they've gotten inside Blue Valley's 30-yard line. So Rockhurst really needs to put a drive together, and if Smirk can't come back, it's on the backup quarterback, Bobby Hummel, to lead this drive.
Colin Wood hammers this kick high, end over end, out of the back of the end zone. And Blue Valley finds themselves back on top. They led 7-0. They led 14-7. And now they lead 21-14. And here comes that Hawklets attack. And it's Bobby Hummel back out there. And again, we weren't sure if we were going to see Nick Smurt again. He went down earlier in this second half, and he has not returned yet. He went down late in the third quarter. And It's been the Bobby Hummel show, but he hasn't been asked to do much. He's handed it off a lot from the pistol. He's going to play action, roll to his right side. Hummel is going to set up a dart right side, and a high grab made. What a fantastic catch. Elevating and pulling it in was Beshoner for another first down.
Yeah, Beshoner, again, kind of looked like it was a high pass. Looked like he was just going to go sail out of bounds on the Rockhurst sideline. Great catch. I think Beshoner has caught every single pass that's been thrown his way.
Every single pass, yeah. We don't have up-to-the-minute stats for you, unfortunately, but Beshoner's got to have at least 10 grabs today. And it's got to be well over the century mark in receiving yards. 1st and 10 as they move the chains out to the 36-yard line. Does Rockhurst have another answer? 7:05 to go, fourth quarter, 21-14 Blue Valley. As the clouds start to move in and the shadows start to creep across the field here at Blue Valley High School. Low snap and whistles blow this one dead. And Rockhurst is going to take a timeout before the snap. Coach Severino wants to talk about this one. He's got his team in a dogfight. And boy, the toughness from Jake Wolf. I mean, let's talk about him. We talked about him out of the halftime break, and we were talking about it. Against a defense like this in Rockhurst, one of the best in the city, he was going to have a chance to either put on a show or come down to earth a little bit with his recruitment. So far, he's put on a show.
Yeah, he's put on a show. He's been good. The snaps, you can't really fault him for the snaps, but again, that pass right there is honestly why teams and programs are excited about this kid. 6'2", over 200 pounds. Just put that one right where Lockett could go get it, and it was just a beautiful ball. And then Sterling Lockett was able to get going and get that pass. But Jake Wolf's been tough. I mean, there's been pressure in his face all night, and he's stood in there. He's been able to make some smart plays, smart throws. Even some of the plays that he doesn't complete passes, when he can just get it out, even in the pocket, he's been able to get it out to his running back, so it's no intentional grounding or anything like that. You can kind of see the football IQ from Jake Wolf.
Out of the timeout, Hummel wants to go to the air. He's going to fire a hitch route and complete to his tight end, Sprague, who carries a man across the 42-yard line. Gain of 6 yards on first down. And that's going to be the most important thing on this drive, staying ahead of the chains if you're Rockhurst.
Yeah, Rockhurst, if you need to get, first down, pick up 6 yards. And then second down makes it a lot easier, possibly third down. And I think if you're Rockhurst, Hummel, quick passes, I think, is the ideal situation. You don't want to really have him sit there in that pocket with that defensive line that's been causing pressure all night. Get the ball out of Hummel's hands. Make him feel comfortable with throwing the football.
6.5 to play in this fourth quarter. Shotgun snap. Looking left. Scrambling to his right is Hummel. He's going to step up and tuck this one and get dropped right at the line of scrimmage. Maybe lost a half a yard. Great coverage on the back end by Blue Valley. And here comes 3rd and 5 for Rockhurst.
And a big third down as we approach halfway through the fourth quarter. Would expect a run, but you can also expect possibly Rockhurst a draw Blue Valley off guard with a draw or a screen pass or something along those lines.
And here comes the noise from this Blue Valley crowd on homecoming weekends. Inside 6 to go in this fourth quarter. Got to get out to the 46 for a first down. Hummel claps his hands, spins on a play fake. He's under pressure and he goes down back at the 30-yard line. The future Iowa Hawkeye Richmond got there first.
Blue Valley brings a blitz, brings about 6 guys, and Mason Richmond, again, like you mentioned, was the one that was able to get to Hummel. It was a play action, and Hummel, whenever he came up from that play action, he had absolutely nowhere to go. He couldn't see down the field. Hummel probably did the smart play because now Rockhurst defense has been the story for Rockhurst all year. They need a stop right now to get the ball back for their offense.
Low snap for Lawson. He gets rid of a beautiful punt. This is going to hit across the 30, take a Rockhurst roll, and get down at the 21-yard line of Blue Valley. 4:57 to go in your fourth quarter. Blue Valley comes up with another stop defensively. And now can the offense ice the game, or can this Rockhurst defense, like they have so many times tonight, step up and make a big play? Again, the only downfall for the Rockhurst defense today has been the big play. 94-yard touchdown pass, 43-yard touchdown pass, and on that last drive, a 56-yard touchdown pass. Outside of those 3 shot plays, this Rockhurst defense has been fantastic.
Yeah, I would say, outside of the big plays, this defense has been really good. It'll be interesting to see what Blue Valley tries to do. Rockhurst has 2 timeouts left, 4:57 to go. See if Blue Valley tries to run the football, maybe air it out, quick passes. We'll see what Blue Valley's strategy is here early.
Dorian Stevens on an island, wide to the right side by himself. Wolf is going to look left side. Slant pass was nearly intercepted by Tommy Eccles, and it'll be 2nd and 10. That's a dangerous pass into traffic.
I say, like you said, you pointed out right before, Dorian Stevens was one-on-one. I think if Wolf's able to hang on to that for maybe a half second to a second longer, I think he's got a possible jump ball opportunity for Dorian Stevens.
They've got a safety shaded over near the hash mark to his side over here. That's wide right, and 3 receivers go wide left. They send a man in motion. That's Lockett. Across the formation of the right side, Wolf looking right side. He's going to throw the wheel route incomplete behind Lockett, and it's going to be 3rd and 10.
So it looked like there was just a little bit of miscommunication. Lockett went towards the inside. Wolf threw it to the outside, and if they were on target, it was open.
You heard someone yell, "Run the ball." And, I mean, for good reason. Clock's right now stopped at 4:50. They've only taken 9 seconds off the clock on this drive after a couple of incompletions.
I figured after first down, after throwing it, possibly run the football, but then threw it again on second down, didn't get a completion, so the clock stopped.
They want to go to the air again. Wolf is going to look back to his right, now fires left side high and incomplete, 4th down. And how about that? Clock stops at 4:44. They got the ball with 4:59, 3 incompletions. They only kill 15 seconds of this 4th quarter game clock.
Yeah, and Rockhurst got to keep both their timeouts. So as this next drive goes along, Rockhurst can go literally anywhere on the field if they have the ball with less than 2 minutes left. So, 3 passes. First down wasn't a shock. Second and third down was a little bit of a shock. Run the football, force Rockhurst to possibly call a timeout, and force Hummel to go onto the field with no timeouts or just 1.
And now Rockhurst does take a timeout with 4:44 to go in this 4th quarter. And now they have 1 timeout remaining. And that's a curious decision right there by Severino. Maybe you want to set up a punt block here. But again, your punt unit was out there and the punt team was on for Blue Valley. I don't think you're worried about a fake necessarily, but and I think you'd want to keep that timeout in your pocket as long as you could.
Yeah, and even if it was a lineup issue or anything like that, as long as the ball gets off the foot of Blue Valley and it lands somewhere for Rockhurst, you get the ball. So yeah, burn one of their timeouts there. Still has 1. 4:44 left to go. You're not too concerned about the clock, but we'll see how much they kind of open up the playbook a little bit for Hummel as this drive starts.
And again, will we see Nick Smirt back in this game? We have not seen him since he went down with an injury in the 3rd quarter. They need him desperately here. Punt unit back out there out of the timeout for Blue Valley. Low snap. They're coming after this one. They don't get there, and a beautiful punt into the sun. Fielded on the run at the 35, picking up a block at the 40, 45-yard line and getting shoelace dropped. At the 46 was Henry Krebs. Good field position for the Hawklets. 4:33. The table is set for Rockhurst. They are 54 yards away from trying to tie this game or take the lead. But again, you got to get down there. Again, you revisit week 2. They were down 7 to Blue Springs. They get a touchdown to make it a 1-point game. Decide to go for 2 with 20 seconds left. Fail on the 2-point conversion. Drop that game to Blue Springs. If you score a touchdown on this drive, and again, I don't want to get too far ahead of myself, are you still thinking about going for 2?
I think you think about it, but then I think after that experience, you kick it, get into overtime, and try to win it in overtime.
Hummel wants to go to the air. Here comes pressure. The flag flies. There's going to be a holding call as Hummel continues to scramble around. Now he's going to fire one for the sideline, low and incomplete, but it's not going to matter. Like I said, there is a holding call coming up on this play. And now it's going to be 1st and 20 for the Hawklets with 4:23 to go in the game.
And I think the most important thing right now for Rockhurst, you got to be able to protect Hummel. Backup quarterback, probably wasn't expected to play in a game like this, down 7, be in the football game. I think if you're this Rockhurst offense, that's the main thing. Really need to protect Hummel so that way he can feel comfortable in the pocket, scan all his reads, and then be able to throw it.
Again, have not seen Smirt since he went down in that 3rd quarter. Hummel still in there. The junior hasn't gone to the air much. Hasn't had much success either going to the air. He has been asked to hand it off a lot in this offense. has been stuck in neutral since Hummel took over at quarterback. But again, no fault to his own. He hasn't been able to go to the air much. He is going to go to the air on a tunnel screen, but Schoner is going to get dropped south of the 30-yard line, back near the 28. They're going to lose 4 more on the tunnel screen. The blocking never set up, and it's going to be second and forever for the Hawklets.
I think if you're Rockhurst now, you got to start taking shots because you've got second and 28, and you got to get all the way to Blue Valley's 44-yard line to be able to pick up this first down.
Says second and 28 on the scoreboard to our left. They're going to snap this off the 28. They got to get, like you said, to the Blue Valley 44-yard line to move the chains. Hummel steps up in the pocket. He's going to step up into another sack. That time, 3 black jerseys collapsed on Hummel. They were trying to set up the deep shot. And now it's going to be third and even longer for Rockhurst.
Yeah, they had Cassius Howell if Hummel was able to step up. It looked like that was the option for him. Just stepped up, and like you said, they had 4 black shirts on him. Wasn't able to get it out. But I think you got to draw something up, take a shot.
This defensive line for Blue Valley has been fantastic in this second half. Third and 29. This crowd for Blue Valley on their feet. Hummel, deep shot down the sideline. It is picked off near midfield. Here comes McCumber across the 30-yard line, reversing field near the 25. McCumber needs 1 block. He's going to cut it back near the middle and get dropped near the 23-yard line. An interception, and now Rockhurst is backed into a corner.
Again, there is a flag, but it's probably just on the return. But great play, great coverage by Blue Valley.
And that one, yeah, it is going to be a penalty on the return, so it'll stay with Blue Valley. But, yeah, for Hummel, I mean, that was just taking a shot you have to. 3rd and 30 late in this 4th quarter. And for Caden McCumber, the free safety, that was like catching a punt. For McCumber, that's his 2nd interception this year, by the way. 4 interceptions for this defense. And now here we go. 2:45 to go, 4th quarter. Rockhurst needs a stop. 1 timeout remaining. They're going to keep it up the middle, and that one goes nowhere, straight up the middle. And now if you're Tony Severino, again, you've got 1 timeout remaining. Here comes 2nd and 10 for Blue Valley. You've got to get a stop here, or it ices the game.
Yeah, and it's also kind of a big penalty, too, because it kind of knocks Blue Valley out of field goal range, so keeps you in the game if you can get a 3-and-out. And, again, that timeout's going to come up huge because then, this clock's going to run down close to probably about a minute, little over a minute before you can call that time, before the 3rd down play will be snapped.
Play clock at 7. Blue Valley gets to the line. 2 tailbacks in the backfield on a 2nd and 10. They're going to hand off. Running right side is Holbert, trying to get to the sideline. Flag flies. And this one's likely going to come back here, as we're going to probably have a hold or a block in the back here on the perimeter. And it is going to be a hold. That was a gain of about 5 yards. Would have made a manageable 3rd down. And so you have to take the penalty if you're Rockhurst. It does stop the clock. But it worked off an extra 5 or 6 seconds there on that play being ran. But again, you've got 1 more timeout if you're Rockhurst. Now 2nd and 20, 1:57 to go, 4th quarter. And I think after this play, assuming it gets stopped inbounds, you have to take your timeout after this play or after the 3rd down play.
And you also kind of mentioned it, too. These running backs for Blue Valley have been able to bounce it on the outside. They need to have the smarts. If they do bounce it outside and you're running out of real estate, just get down.
Get down, yeah. 2nd and 20. From the 45-yard line, they go backwards after the holding call. They're going to run a stretch play near side to Jans, who cuts it up near the hash mark and get dropped near the 35-yard line. He gets that penalty yardage back, picks up 10 yards. It's going to be 3rd and 10. Severino is going to take that final timeout, 1:45 to go in the ball game. And so assuming you get yourself a stop here, you're probably touching the ball with a minute to go in the game. And again, I'm not sure what the range is for Colin Wood. On the year, Colin Wood has only hit 1 field goal from 25 yards away as a chip shot. So I'm not sure what his range is. I don't think it's Owen Lawson's range from 55 plus. But right now, this is a 52-yard field goal, and I'm not sure you want to try that if you're Coach Terrell.
No, because then again, because if you miss it, you give Rockhurst pretty good field position. I think if you pick up 4 or 5 here, I think you just kind of pooch punt it like we've seen Wolf do numerous times so far this season. Pooch punt it away, and then force Rockhurst to possibly drive 80 to 90 yards with no timeouts.
But if you're Rockhurst, again, this game is far from over. It's a 25-second play clock. So again, you're probably going to touch the ball again if you can get a stop here on a 3rd and 10. With about a minute to go in the game, this game is far from over for the Hawklets. They just need to stop here on 3rd and 10. They're going to run a stretch play to the right side. It's Holbert cutting back. He's got a first down across the 25-yard line. Great perimeter blocking by Blue Valley, and Holbert slams the dagger.
And so that's going to do it for the game. Like you said, great block outside and good cut up there by the running back, able to get it. And Blue Valley is going to have a massive, massive win early, at the halfway point of the season.
Victory formation for Blue Valley. Rockhurst cannot stop the clock. Inside 115. Jake Wolf will follow an E. He'll need to do that a couple more times, and the Tigers are going to come in here and take down the Rockhurst Hawklets. I don't know that a lot of people in the city thought Blue Valley was capable of stopping Rockhurst, but this defense here in the matter of 4 weeks for Blue Valley has improved dramatically.
Oh, absolutely, especially after the way that first half of the first game started. I think a lot of people, when they saw this game, Rockhurst should be able to go in there and do what they did last year to them, but Blue Valley has regrouped pretty nicely after that Aquinas loss. And Blue Valley's not unique in the situation of Aquinas beating them, by 30 or so. Aquinas is going to do that a lot. So Blue Valley being able to regroup, and you can just tell the sideline how big of a win this is for Blue Valley and their program.
One more knee for Wolf. A statement victory for the Blue Valley Tigers. 3-1 on the year. Jake Wolf, he put on a show. Him and Dorian Stevens connected for 2 touchdowns. And there was the put-away touchdown to lock it from 56 away to ice this game for the Tigers. The defense was incredible in that second half. A 21-14 victory for Blue Valley. Mason Richmond and company on the defensive side of the ball put on a show. Again, they forced the turnovers. Caden McCumber, a late interception. The Tigers just as impressive offensively as they are defensively in this victory. They go to 3-1. They drop Rockhurst to 3-2, and Rockhurst now has got a monster game coming up in a week. They've got to pick themselves up in a hurry. They're back at home next week against the Stags of Bishop Miege.
I say we're going to see that game next week. Rockhurst and Bishop Miege going to be 2 kind of desperate teams coming off losses. And that's for the first time in a long time that matchup is both teams coming off of losses. So going to see how both teams respond. And like you mentioned, the Blue Valley defense, pretty much whenever Hummel came into the game, they really kind of just pinned their ears back and said, we're bringing 6 every time you drop back. So they were able to really, they said, hey, if Hummel's going to beat us, he's going to beat us with his legs and his arm. And they didn't believe that he could do that. So big-time performance by Blue Valley. And that defensive line, Mason Richmond was massive in this game. And that defensive line for Blue Valley really dominated the game.
For Blue Valley, next week they will be back in this building to take on the Huskies of Blue Valley Northwest, and then in 2 weeks they're on the road against Bishop Miege. So it's quite a gauntlet really for these 3 teams, Miege, Rockhurst, and Blue Valley. They're all going to get to see each other over the course of the next few weeks. But Blue Valley, man, they are fired up. They're jumping around down there. This is a statement win for this Blue Valley club. They were looking for a statement win last year. They never got it. They got bounced in round 1 of the Class 6A playoffs. After getting hammered by Aquinas in week 1, there was a shadow of doubt over this Tiger team. They have responded in a big way. 3 straight victories and a statement over the Rockhurst Hawklets, 21-14 this afternoon. For Taylor Dameron, I'm Tim Spurl, thanking you for joining us on ESPN Kansas City, as well as Sports Radio 810 WHB. The Tigers are 3-1. The Hawklets dropped to 3-2, and they have got themselves a huge matchup next week for our Sports Radio 810 Game of the Week against the Stags of Bishop Miege. Have yourself a good night. Hey, Nathan. Hey, Nathan. I can't hear him.